All right. Hello to all of our wonderful viewers. I know I'm down here on a little screen now because we're doing this on Roll20. So yes, hello, hi, how are you? This is session number 40, 40. We have played 40 weeks in a row, non-stop. We are coming up on our 1 year anniversary in 12 weeks, which is awesome. But this is session number 30, or excuse me, session number 40 of Unlikely Heroes, which is our 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons campaign. We are going to be diving in here very momentarily. I'm going to do a quick recap, and then take questions, do an XP overview, and then we're going to dive into tonight's session, so you'll kind of be able to pick up where we're at when we start. Just so anybody here, who, if you've not been here before, or even if you have, just as a refresher, I, as the DM, do not pay any attention to chat while I am playing Dungeons & Dragons as a DM, because I want to make sure that the players are getting all of the attention that they need and deserve and crave so desperately. Which is a good thing. I say that tongue-in-cheek. So anyways, the players may pop in and out of stream, so of stream chat, so if anybody has any questions, you can direct them that way. If not, hit up our Discord. Feel free to click on the character links if you are curious to see who people are playing. The links are popping up in Stream Elements in chat right now. You'll be able to see exactly what their characters are. It's a live feed too, so if you're curious about hit points or inventory, you can go through all that stuff. Okay, on that note, thank you guys all for being here. I'm very, very, very excited. Rose, thank you for being here. Ms. Moon, thank you for being here. And, yeah, everybody else who's going to be hanging out tonight. Alright, guys, we're going to go ahead and dive into it. Here we go. Alright, guys, I am back. Sorry about that.
Back.
Okay, so what did I miss right before I stepped away? I heard Kevin say, so we just got back from, was it something amazing?
Oh man,
Oh.
tell him. It's terrible.
Yeah. So I just got back from a local bookstore, did kind of a gamer con kind of thing. So like they just like had a bunch of people running, all sorts of games and everything. And one of my friends just wanted to run a game, so we did a game with the rules from the new playtest coming out, the D&D 1. We did the inspiration rule. I don't know if you read that yet, but like if you roll a nat 20, then you get an inspiration.
Right.
But like as we played it, as we read it, it was just like, okay, I'll use my inspiration now, and I'll roll by whatever. Oh, I got another natural 20, so that means I get another inspiration.
Yep.
So I guess I'll use
by
it for
the
my next
rules.
one. Yeah, by the rules. So I guess I'll just use my inspiration for my next roll. Oh, I got another natural 20. Like, my dice were really hot tonight, and a lot of other people's were too. So it's just like we're just dishing out inspiration everywhere. So everybody had inspiration, like, at one point.
See, they're gonna have to dial that shit back, because
It was way too much.
Yeah, that's obnoxious. I mean, it feels good to get a hot streak, but at some point the DM's gonna go, well, okay, now what happens if the DM or if they start rolling nat 20s over and over and over? I mean, are they applying inspirations now to monsters? Because I don't do any of that shit.
I heard, I had to look into this. I heard they're kind of dialing back crit rolls for monsters and DM things.
Yeah, I don't like where it's headed, but we'll see what they come up with once they officialize things and see what we cherry pick from it. I know
I mean, it's all playtest, and they're begging for feedback, and I know a lot of people are going to be like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you had a chance to actually play that. I've just been giving feedback through the surveys on shit that I'm reading and trying to conceptualize. I mean, it's some of it's really cool, some of it's really scary. So
yeah, definitely.
But it's cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's fun.
Okay, so guys, we are, this is session number 40. So quick recap from, yeah, I know, we're 12 weeks out from our 1 year anniversary. That's like really crazy. From the 1 year anniversary of our one shot. So I'll go ahead and just do a quick recap for us. Last session, we picked up right at the very tail end of the fight that was you guys pitted against a group of ogres and tiny little crazy looking blue humanoid creatures that were pretty primitive, not wearing a lot of armor, and most of them wielding slings. When it came down to the final chunk of the fight, you guys managed to overcome them pretty much no problem. The one clear spellcaster did manage to expeditious retreat its happy ass out of combat and as far away from you as it possibly could. And it was after that, shortly after that, that you guys decided to move on. Not before, however, Gray spotted a big old fat chest of loot and a couple sacks of coins. So, you guys pushed on. You arrived in Underhill, kind of around the high noon hour. You were greeted, for lack of a better term, by a contingent of guardsmen who were questioning as to who the hell you were and what the hell you were doing here, considering you had just come from the east and there's no towns to the east, and oh, it's a halfling, a gnome, a goblin, and a fallen Aasimar traveling together. He's a little confused. However, he was pleasant for the most part, a little standoffish, but you guys actually talked your way. I mean, I don't even think we had any rolls. You guys just legitimately talked your way straight into town without any issue, which was awesome. So you guys got into town. You went to the House of the Dwarf Lord Inn, where you were greeted by the barkeep and a few of his attendants. You guys sat down, you had some food, and through conversation and some wonderful wordplay by our resident bard, Gray, you not only managed to secure lodging for yourself for like 5 days for free, but you got the like executive suite upgrade, and all he had to do was promise to tell his stories of the adventures you had had thus far to the tavern crowd on Monday night, this following Monday night. And yeah, it was awesome. So you guys got your room, you kind of went and got yourself set up, you had some food. During this time, Aurora was outside kind of scoping stuff out and seeing what was going on, as she was in a place where she was uncomfortable, because for the first time in her very short existence, and I don't mean to be silly about that, she found herself in a place surrounded by people that she was trained to hunt, and that is terrifying. So, flash forward a little bit. Doc is given a gift from a small dwarven boy whom she coincidentally happens to bump into again later on when she's having a hot spring bath. Doc and Aurora go to the Temple of Garl Glittergold, where they have a conversation. Well, at least Doc has a conversation with the priestess. Unfortunately, not really a whole lot she could provide her as far as information at this time, but she told her, hey, we'll be back tomorrow or maybe in another day or so, and we'll see about, you know, whatever you got going on here. At that time, you guys went back to the House of the Dwarf Lord, where Ree and Ree had taken a bath for the first time. Well, not really a bath, more like a hot barrel, but for the first time in a very, very long time, and promptly fell asleep.
Years, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely had to scrub the inside of that barrel when they were done with it. Gray was already fast asleep at this point, as 3/4 of the party had levels of exhaustion from not only a crazy fight, but a literal sleepless night the night before. So, everybody came back inside. Doc got a room for herself, didn't want to sleep in the main room with everybody else. And, yeah, you guys decided to bed down for the evening. It was before you all did that, just before everybody did that, Aurora stepped outside and opened her senses, her heightened senses, to the creatures that may or may not be within your guys' vicinity. And it was with that she was capable of discovering some interesting things, which included the fact that although there were rumors going around town that there was a pack of ghouls in the mines, that it was probably not a pack of ghouls, as she sensed no undead anywhere in the vicinity. So, fast forward a little bit, you guys decided you were going to go ahead and take your rest, and we decided we are going to start today's session on the morning of Wednesday, the 18th of Mugem, Wednesday the 18th of Mugem. And Gray, just for your reference, now obviously you're not contractually bound, it is just kind of a handshake and a nod, but the 23rd, which is this upcoming Monday, is when you are said to potentially perform. So, also, everybody, just so we're aware, just a quick refresh, we do have the capability of doing downtime activities. Typically they take 2 weeks to do, but if you guys, are like, hey, we're going to just, maybe rest up here and try to get a little extra something out of this town, or just invest that time in the town and in yourselves, quite frankly, you're more than welcome to do that. Okay, XP recap real quick. Session 39, the Ogre combat concluded, which was a net of 438 XP per person. And just so you guys know, even though you had one creature get away during that fight and 2 creatures were knocked out and not killed, you still get full XP for the encounter. The way, and some DMs don't do it like that, the way that I consider it is that you took all combatants on the field and you subdued them in one way or another, whether that meant fleeing, dying, knocked unconscious, whatever. You disabled all combatants. So 438 XP for that fight, and then you guys had another wonderful roleplay session, so I gave you another 400 for that. So it was 838 XP each last session. That brings Gray to 17,590, Aurora to 17,328, and Doc and Ree to 19,428. Okay. Do I have any questions from you guys before I start? Before we start?
No.
I don't think so.
All right, perfect. So, we are going to go ahead and pick up. Again, this is the morning of Wednesday, the 18th of Mugem. We'll say about 7, 8, 9, right in that time frame, as you're all slowly starting to wake up. You guys find yourself awake. What would you like to do?
I guess Rhea needs to find some her clothes again. I think the bar key, or the proprietor took the clothes and then washed them, hopefully.
Yes, yeah, she didn't burn them, although I'm sure it was considered.
Probably would have been better, yeah.
All right, give me just one second.
Considering she threw up on them as well.
Oh yeah, she puked on them too, yeah.
That's true.
I'm really kind of hoping you end up with new clothes.
Okay, so Rhea, as you are opening your eyes and kind of getting your bearings about you in the morning, first of all, you feel wonderfully well rested. Especially comparative to... that reminds me, if anybody wants to use hit dice to heal themselves, I don't know where everybody was at hit point wise. I just know that Doc was really fucked up.
Yeah, thank you.
So as you wake up, you kind of start to get your bearings about you. You start to do some stretches as you sit up in bed. All of your bones crack like you're 80, but obviously you're nowhere near that. You kind of feel something down at the foot of your bed, and you kind of kick the wool blanket off, and it kind of flops over your foot. And you have a small strip of leather tied to your right big toe, and on the end of it, about 3 inches dangling off the end of it, is a rolled up piece of parchment.
Oh. Yeah, she'll open it up. Let's see, what does it say?
Alright, you can go ahead and check your inventory. I just shared it to your inventory.
When Aurora wakes up, she's going to, after, glancing to make sure no one's dead in the room she's in, she's going to go straight to Doc. With purpose. In room 6, because I remember.
Okay. In just 1 second, as well as what you have in front of you, Kevin.
I'm actually not seeing it.
Oh shit! Hang on 1 second. Okay, did you see it now?
In roll okay.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I sent it to you in roll 20. So the additional piece about what you see here outside of the footnotes and what's on there is that a long, probably legit 2.5-inch canine tooth falls out of the package as well, or out of the scroll as well.
I'm confused about what's on the bottom.
So do you want me to read exactly what it says? So it says, below appears to be an intentional smear of Boom Boom, which is 100%,
okay.
100% to you, Goblin.
Motherfucker. And a canine tooth fell out?
Yeah, it's like 2.5 inches long. It's fucking huge.
Motherfucker. Balls up the note and tosses it across the room.
All right. Okay, so as you are, just so you know, your clothes have been very neatly folded and set on the table in the center of the room. Actually, what the fuck am I doing? Here you go. I did a thing for you guys.
Ooh, yeah, there we are.
All right, so yeah, so on the center table, in the middle of the room there is you've got a nice, beautiful set of clothes. All of the holes, all of the tears and tatters have been beautifully stitched and hemmed. It is the same set of clothes you were wearing, but they are like flawless. Like they are better than when you found them.
It's got my purple poofy pants.
Yep.
Nice.
Forgot you had that.
Oh yeah.
So as you go to slip those purple poofy pants on, they appear to have been hemmed up to fit you even better.
They're still poofy though, right?
Oh, they're poofy as fuck, yeah.
Oh, okay, good.
They're just not, you're not like tripping over the bottoms of them.
Oh, okay, alright, good. It's like, don't you fucking ruin my poof.
Okay.
So yeah,
Yep.
like Ree would have no.
Uh-oh.
Am I still here? I am still here.
I hear you.
You're just not.
I just accidentally closed down.
I do that all the time.
Yeah, it's weird. It's just like I think maybe it crashed on them. Yeah, so I guess Ree would have yelled a little loudly when after she finished reading the note and start to get dressed.
Okay, it's about that time that Gray, your eyes are finally starting to pop open. As you needed, I mean, although you went to sleep first, you needed probably way more sleep than anybody else. But you hear the kind of angry goblin shout, and your eyes pop open, and Rhea's buck-ass naked, standing at the table, slipping poofy pants on and putting her tunic on.
I think he'll like sit on his bed. I'll go. Good. I guess I'm still alive. That's a good one for the records. Also, why are you no? Never mind. It's too good a day to start that.
Took a bath.
You took a bath.
Took a bath. Really nice, actually.
Next, pigs are gonna fly.
I've seen pigs fly.
Were you the one throwing them?
Well, yeah. off a catapult.
That I will like to see.
I guess it didn't necessarily fly on their own, but they did fly for a moment and they splat. Did you see anybody come into this room last night?
Oh, I was out like a light.
Yeah, so was I.
Half expected not to open my eyes again, but here we are.
I don't think I've slept that hard in a while.
I don't think we've slept on a proper bed in a while. The Archdruid's furs were nice enough, but I prefer a bed.
So yeah, Ree will finish putting on the rest of her clothes, and they're like, "All right, I'm gonna go get some fucking breakfast." fucking hungry. Need
Okay.
to ask some questions too while I'm here. To know who the fuck's letting people just tie shit to people's toes.
All right. So as this is
No context on that either.
as this is unfolding, Aurora, you have moved to room 6, correct?
Yep, and that is the. As soon as I woke up, actually, first of all, what is the green, scary-looking symbol on my character?
You have resistance to poison because you're a halfling.
Okay. No, that's cool. It's the first time that I've noticed it, and I just saw a scary-looking green skull and panicked.
You know what? It is kind of jarring, isn't it? They really chose a unique symbol. But yeah, it's just because you have poison resistance. And Lucy, I think,
That's
also
fine.
has a skull, but his is purple.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not worried if Gray's gonna like die suddenly.
I accept
Then we
that.
get our short person.
Come on, Gray.
Yeah. The second Aurora wakes up, especially since she wasn't really tired when she went to bed anyway, she's going straight to Doc's room and is rapping on the door.
Yeah, and Doc, you were pretty fucking tired. I mean, when you went down, especially with your wounds, you are in the midst of you only remember the part of the dream right when you're about to wake up, but it's so vivid that you're like, holy shit, I would have liked to finish that, but you didn't even know you were having it because you were being woken up and you were still asleep. So you, as you start hearing a banging at the door, you are sitting alone in a room with no visible walls, floor, or ceiling. It is just black, but you do feel like you're boxed in. And the floor beneath you begins to bubble up this dark, sappy crimson liquid. And as it rises higher and higher and higher and higher and higher, you feel yourself get very, very uncomfortable, and you start to hear, "Call the Crimson Conduit. Call the Crimson Conduit. Call the Crimson Conduit." And that eventually turns into do-do-do-do. 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 And you jolt up and you hear do-do-do-do on your door from the outside.
What? Who? What?
When?
It's me.
She'll give like a big sigh, and then let go of her backpack that she was spooning all night. Put it on her back, and then go over to the door and open it. She looks a little disheveled.
First thing before I say anything, how fucked up does she look?
Shoot, let me take a look at my end. No, she's looking okay. You must have spent a lot of fucking hit dice, because yeah, she's looking much better now. Yeah, you see a couple scrapes and bruises, but no open wounds. Anything that was open yesterday that you noted has been at least bandaged closed.
Okay. Yeah, I also had a slight panic at the giant bearded Axeman.
I didn't, just so you know, I didn't have to use too many hit dice. She healed me before, last game, but I don't think I updated the character, just my character sheet.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So yeah, when you say what, look, we are going to work together and make nice again today.
Doc starts
No
to
avoiding
close
each
the
other.
door. Okay, fine. She'll just give me a second. I gotta put my armor on. She'll leave the
God,
door
why are
open
they so big?
so that you can come in if you want to, and she'll don her armor and then get her backpack on and head out.
Yep. And or we'll just like, do you need help? Sorry.
No,
Would you like help?
no, that's okay. It's pretty easy. She wears leather, so it's not like she's putting on plate or anything. And she does it with skill. Like, you know, she's done it a few hundred times.
It's very fair. And then if she says no, then Aura is just gonna kind of lean against the wall and wait.
Yeah, so when she's done, she'll take a look around. Her eyes kind of linger on the floor a little bit, and then she'll nod to the door and wait for you.
Then she's, depending on whether or not Ree had already, passed through the hallway to go towards the main room, it's going to depend on whether or not I'm going back towards the bedroom or towards the main tavern room.
Yeah, probably by now you would probably have been storming by the room.
Yeah, and I mean, you guys' conversations all happen at about the same pace. So, yeah, as you're kind of like finishing up this this little bit of a conversation here, you hear the very obvious stomping of a pissed off goblin kind of marching towards you.
Doc flinches as Ree stomps by.
Well, if Ree is stomping and Rora's right there, Rora's going to try and, stick out an arm to, catch Ree off, to get Ree's attention before she passes by.
Did you see somebody come into our fucking room last night?
I didn't sense anyone.
Somebody came into our room, and tied a note to my toe.
Doc's eyebrows will raise. Somebody came in and tied a note to your toe and you didn't notice them?
No, I was very, very, very tired.
No, I'm not questioning you. I think you and I need to talk.
Yeah, we do.
Do you want to talk here or at a table?
Yeah, let's get a table. I need some food.
Okay. Doc will wait for Ree to lead the way, still kind of unsure where the hell she stands right now.
All right, yeah, Ree will first make her way to the tavern barkeep, I guess. And,
okay.
Yeah, first off, she'll ask the same question. You know anything about anybody coming into our room last night and tying a note to my toe?
Oh, well, first of all, good morning to you. You look much more rested than when I saw you last night. Yeah. To answer your question, no, unfortunately, I also have to sleep at night, so I don't patrol the halls. Somebody did what now?
Yeah, somebody came into my room, I probably would have still the little leather thing, little strap. Somebody came in, tied this thing to my toe, and there was a note attached to it, but I threw it across the room, and there was poop on it.
Oh, somebody shite on a piece of parchment and then put it on your... Yeah. She kind of stops, he looks around and he says, do you think it was the gnome playing a trick on you since, she got another room? That'd be kind of silly, wouldn't it?
Doc will come around the corner at that moment.
I mean, given our history in the past couple of days, that would be a very wrong thing for her to do.
Oh, right, from the stories. Well, maybe it was the halfling? I don't know. I would start with the people who were sleeping next to me, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, I already did that. Nobody knew.
Was it a threat? Should I get the constable?
No, it's not a threat. It's almost more threatening to the person who wrote the note to know that they're still alive to write notes.
Oh, right. Well, can I get you a beer?
I would love a beer, and I would love a big stack of meat of some sort, greasier the better.
Oh, sounds great. Find yourself a seat, sweetheart, and we'll get out right to you.
Lovely.
Okay, and he turns and he starts going about his business. He starts grabbing stuff off the shelf and making up a breakfast. The whole place smells like onions. Like they have been stewing or frying onions all morning. And the dwarves you see sitting around the table are stuffing their face with big heaps of potatoes, onions, and some sort of meat. Sausage links, you see slabs of ham. It's they fucking got it going on. Interesting thing you do not see You do not see any eggs anywhere in here.
That's fine. Fuck eggs. I don't care about eggs.
Meat. Okay, while this is all happening, and I'm assuming everybody, let me ask this: who is joining at the table? And Gray, what is your intention?
Doc definitely is joining at the table.
I think once Ree storms out of the room, Gray will like put on his armor, and I mean he didn't eat much yesterday, and he probably didn't passed out immediately, so he's probably hungry as well. So he'll hop out.
Okay, give me a Gray. Give me a perception check with your passive of stupid.
A lot. 19.
Okay, so as you go to step out, you catch a whiff of some pretty foul, literal shit. And it hits your nose and it's acrid, and you're like, oh my gosh, like, did Ree shit in that water? So you kind of like go over to the tub, you look in, the tub's been drained, it's empty, it actually smells decent. So you start to kind of look around. Give me an investigation check, please.
Yeah, 'cause after what happened last time, he smelled something foul in a tavern. He's definitely going to be investigating.
Turned out pretty bad.
Actually, that was pretty terrible. 5. So the 5, so it catches you off guard. You follow the scent for a little bit, and like you see some suspicious like streaks on the ground, but you can't really make heads or tails of it. As you are going around the vicinity of the room, what you do find is a small crumpled up piece of paper, which also stinks like shit.
I guess he'll open it up and be like, "What's this? Why does it smell so bad?"
All right, so all right, there you are, Gray.
I'm gonna say, "Wow, it's probably the best goblin writing I've ever seen." He's gonna like put it in his pocket.
Oh, you got the stink pocket now.
All right, like it'll probably be like a different.
Just put it in your back pocket. Nobody will know the
Yeah.
difference. Yeah. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. So yeah, you
It's the side Ree's always on. No one's...
you slip it in your pocket. You can add that just as a custom letter if you want to. You've got it in your inventory on Roll20. So
Shitty letter.
shitty letter. All right. So and then you join the group. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Aurora, what about you?
I want food, and I want to be in a spot where... Is this Blue Rug the entrance?
Yep, sure is.
Okay. Then I am going to get food, and I am going to just be near to the door. So I can keep an eye on the group, I can keep an eye on the door.
Okay, excellent. So, let's see here. So, food is included with, I was just looking at my notes, food was included with your guys' lodging as well as basic drinks, not the top shelf shit. So you guys are all collectively brought plates of stewed potatoes, grilled potatoes, fried potatoes, onions upon onions upon onions, and literal stacks of sausages, different sausages. There's blood and barley sausage, there's regular pork sausages, there are mixed sausages, there are sausages with oats inside of them, all sorts of delicious sausages and steaks and stuff. Gray, Gray, you kind of get yourself cleaned up, you come out and around the corner, and what you see is what you get in the tavern. You see Aurora sitting nearest the door with her back facing in, and you see Rhea and Doc by themselves currently at a table in the center.
I guess he'll join them, but sit like opposite Doc.
Okay, perfect. So you sit down. Everybody begins to eat. Everybody's brought like swill, which is like a really low alcohol beer, like kind of like a breakfast beer almost. And yeah, then you are left to your devices.
Doc will lean over toward Ree and say, in Goblin, was it from who I think it was from, based on what I just heard you say?
Yes, it appears to be. It was signed with the letter G, with a nice smear of goblin scat. So, yes, I do believe it's from our friend Gimbal, from on the behest of our lasher, the bull. I was supposed to be dead. All of them.
So, a couple things here. Hopefully, number one, this sort of indicates my actions, at least in your mind.
I want to be clear about something that happened, that what you had to do, what I agreed to you doing. I want to be clear. I didn't do it for me. You understand that, right? Listen, if that little shit, Gimbo, or the bull, Rokag, they were to come for me, I would have torn them limb from limb, easily. And they would have kept coming, fine. They would have kept sending assassins, fine. If it was just me, no problem. I could deal with that. But you? Gray? Aurora? No. One of you would have fallen trying to protect me. One of you would have fallen just getting in the way. And that's the truth of it. I'm sorry, but my job in this group is to protect you. All of you, whether you like it or not. And had an assassin come, one of you would have fallen, I'm sure. And chances are, I don't mean to sound brash or arrogant, but I don't think it would have been me.
Oh, it would have been me.
Likely.
So,
I don't hate you for what you've done. Listen, the emotions that happened afterwards, I wasn't expecting. I wasn't expecting what it was like to die. I've never died before. Nobody, I mean, all of you have died. It wasn't what you were expecting, I'm sure.
I did not expect to be hugged to death, that's for sure.
Exactly. I was scared, and it was dark, and I was alone. I've heard tales of folk meeting their gods, meeting their ancestors, going to some glorious hall somewhere in the afterlife, some glorious bright halls, blah, blah, blah. I've heard, our tales of finding our way to Acheron to fight for all eternity. I didn't see any of that. None of that. No ancestors met me. No, I didn't see my dead relatives. I didn't see anybody. It was just dark, and I was scared. I didn't know what to do.
I know. I actually really know. And the fact that it was me that, as she sees this guy approach, she's going to stop talking. Just in case he speaks Goblin. The fact that it was me that put you in that position is honestly more of why I've been trying to give you space than me really. I mean, I was definitely concerned that you hate me. I would hate me. I am supposed to be good at that, and you are ridiculously strong.
Strong as fuck, boy.
I did that because, honestly, I have never told anybody before that I love them. You're the only person I've ever said that to. And it's true. You know, the Timbers took me in and they were family, but I never belonged there. This G-bag is what we're going to call him going forward. He kind of took me in. We were kind of like family, but I didn't belong. And, you know, I belong with you. You make me feel like that, at least. And the thought of them coming after you and continuously trying to kill you and me being helpless, I couldn't do it.
Like I said, the day yesterday, I thought maybe I was, and maybe it was more fear than hatred for me. It's just like when you strike a dog, they'll be scared of you the next day, and that's all that was. Nobody's ever killed me before. No one. Nobody can ever get through this tough exterior. It's just too goddamn strong.
Yeah, to be fair, I didn't do it.
No. But the fact that now it's certain that these assholes are still alive, it's not. Now I have more of a purpose and direction. Have I ever told you why I found my way to Bree?
No.
It was about, I don't know, I'm terrible at time. It was about 2 years ago. Maybe a year, I don't know. I was taken by an individual by the name of Rokog the Bull. He was a leader of what he called the Dread Fury Gang. He's an absolute douchebag. Complete scumbag. He's what we call in the goblin camps a lasher. He was a hobgoblin who did what he wished because he was strong, because he had Booyah. He had the ability to cast spells, and let's be honest though, he wasn't good at it. Every time he did, something went wrong. Somebody got hurt. But he had the magic, so he would, and if anybody ever questioned him, he would just smack him with a lightning bolt or something. And then that was that. He came to my village to recruit more goblin folk. And he, going down the line, he made his way to my family. And me being a goblin female, he looked right past me. But he looked to my brothers, Chuck and Chuck. Spelled differently. And he said he would take them. They were going to be his new his new trackers, his new hunters for sport up in the mountains. They were considerably younger than me. They were 6 years old at the time. I was, I don't know, math 10. And I told him, you cannot take them, and you instead take me, and I will show my strength and my worth. And I beat the shit out of his other hunters there, easily. And he agreed. He said, fine, I'll take you. Fuck your brothers, they're weak. Let them do whatever the fuck they want. And I obviously had to let that happen. I had to make sure my family was safe, so I went with him. A couple months later, we were attempting to raid a troop of mountain folk, some travelers in the mountain. And he tried to get the jump on them, tried to shoot a fireball, blew himself up. I thought he blew himself up at least. It was a massive explosion, and I was tossed from the top of the mountain. It was a big avalanche, and when I woke up, I was buried in snow, but somehow managed to survive. Like I said, it's hard to kill me. So I made my way to Bree. But it was in that time that I could see no way that him, the bull, how do I pronounce his name?
Recon.
Rockhag.
Rockhag.
Could have survived. Gimbal either. They were both there, and seemed like they were blown to smithereens, but apparently not. For what I did to exact whatever vengeance they're looking for, I wish I knew.
Maybe just surviving.
Maybe. Anyway, I suppose I'm. Do you know anything? Have you learned anything more?
No. What did the letter say?
Oh, it said something along the lines of I got what was coming to me, and that now I'm forgiven, and that our new feline friend came through, but apparently they haven't gotten the news. And they gave me a tooth, a dog tooth, and she'll take it out of her belt and hold it up. I don't know what the significance of the dog tooth is.
Doc, make a nature check for me, please.
16.
So as you kind of look at it, study it a little bit more than just being like, what the fuck, this is nonsense, you realize that's not a fucking dog tooth. That tooth belongs to a humanoid.
That's not a dog tooth.
You said canine.
Doc will smile. Her face will break and she'll have a little smile for a second. She'll point to her canine.
Oh.
Does that mean anything now?
Does that mean anything now?
Make an intelligence check. Let's just fucking swing in the dark at this one. I hate having to have you do it, but like sometimes I can't not. You do also have an inspiration.
I'm going to use it.
All right, that's probably a very wise choice.
They're obviously dog vampires. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, dog vampires. Yeah, I mean, yeah, absolutely. So as you look down at it, and you say back to her, "Does it mean anything to you?" And she says, "Does it mean anything to you now?" You realize, Ree, this is the canine tooth of a fucking hobgoblin. No questions asked.
Now I'm really fucking confused. Ree says in common now.
At that point, you guys see Gray's eyes kind of flicker with electricity, and Gray, you hear...
Oh, thank goodness I couldn't take any more goblin speak!
think Gray in his head will go, you were actually listening.
Oh yes, it's terrible droning. I listened to the goblins before you became my master, and it's terrible. They sound so smart when they speak their own language. Why don't they just do it all the time?
Wait. You can understand that?
Of course I can!
Another time.
Okie dokie!
And then I guess Gray, who's just been, like, he saw the tooth, but he's just been looking around, listening in on conversations and seeing what trouble he can slightly cause.
Okay, make an investigation check for me.
Doc will look at Ree and say, I must have met him after, because he seemed like he had nothing. Nobody.
How did he look, Gimbal?
Poor. I mean, when I met him, he was getting kicked out of a tavern for stealing.
This is a tooth from a hobgoblin. It's a... couldn't be from Rockhag. Why would Gimbal want to kill me? What did I do to him?
Also, at this point, Aurora is going to, since she's probably done eating, she's going to go outside and listen and learn more.
Okay, noted. Go ahead and give me an investigation check as well, and then we'll just kind of bounce back and forth in here. Real quick, Lucy, with your 15. So, as far as, like, looking for trouble to cause, it's kind of tough because it's just a bunch of, like, dwarves just getting ready for the day, eating lots of potatoes and meat. So, I mean, do with that what you will. However, as conversations are being had around you, the two guys holding pikes, well, they're not holding them while eating like fucking noobs. They're resting them. But you overhear one of the dwarves speaking in common to the other guy, and what you gather from him is that they're both local guardsmen, meaning town guard, not militia, not conscripts, not any of that shit. They are actual local town guardsmen. And they are confirming to each other, they are reaffirming each other what they firsthand saw in the mines before the mines got closed down. And what they are confirming is that, yes, there were bats that were as big as gnomes, rats that were as big as halflings, lots of ogres. And the one guy says, well, I only saw 3, and the guy who mentions lot says, how many ogres do you need to consider it a lot? And he goes, fair point. And then they also confirm a handful of small blue-skinned creatures that are, as they say, translated roughly here in the common tongue, uglier than the backside of a soured sow. And that is what you pick up in the midst of this RP. Okay. Sorry, go ahead, too.
So, I met him getting kicked out of the tavern. And we kind of started running together because I knew I needed to try something different. What I was doing wasn't working. Like I said, he kind of made me feel like I belonged. He made me feel like family. He didn't make me feel like I belonged. He made me feel like family. But sort of like, I don't know, choice removed, I guess. It was like, you know, he was sneaky. He was always sneaky. I guess he had time to go off and do his own thing. I wasn't watching him because I didn't think I needed to at the time. I never mentioned any of what you just told me, so...
Well, suppose maybe I don't have to worry about him anymore. Though I guess I do find it concerning that somebody still came to my room and tied a note to my toe.
I also find that concerning. I think that since it wasn't me, I will stay in that room tonight as well, just in case. As long as you're comfortable.
It'll be okay. I don't. I should be honest with you. I don't know how to move forward after seeing what I saw in death. I'm concerned that everyone
Don't
that I
die.
send to the afterlife sees what I see. I don't. Well, I suppose anyone who doesn't follow a god or deity of some sort, because I don't follow any of them. They're all bullshits. Especially the one that my goblin kin followed, Kurbahag. His whole religion is revolved around slavery and lashing, and their idea of a happy afterlife is to fight in hell forever. That doesn't sound very nice to me. I'd rather not. So I never subscribed to any of it. I just, lived my days as I did, and I suppose maybe that's why I never saw.
What about
any of it.
Meglubiet? You would know about Meglubiet, the god, the goblin god of war, the great general known as the Battle Lord.
What about...
So,
There's are more gods than just that one. What about Maglubiet? He seems your speed. He seems like somebody you could... Maybe we look into it. Maybe we do some research. If your concern is that... And I know your concern isn't just yourself. I know your concern is what you're doing to others. But perhaps if you're able to find a religious cause, it'll give you some peace. Especially if you want to continue doing what you do. You're very good at it, and we need you to be able to do it. So if your concern is taking care of us, maybe this is something we need to look into for you. And have you understand what he stands for, and let you explore different deities. The lack of exposure, in my experience, obviously, she'll like touch the gold nugget on her neck. Obviously I found mine. But it does bring you a sense of peace, knowing that
what about yours? I mean, does yours recruit? Is yours... How does this work? I don't know how any of this works. I mean, does it say like, yo, Garl, we cool? Is that how this works?
Honestly, with Garl, that's pretty much how it works. But so what it comes down to is, faith is very blind. It's knowing they're there even when you don't get signs. It's knowing that if I see my best friend fall, I know that Garl is going to help me make sure you come back. And that was true even before I was able to use his power. I think he gave me knowledge early on so that I could be really good at this, which is my goal. But as far as finding a god, honestly, you have to find one that aligns with you. So with Garl, it's about luck, right? That's our big thing. It's about luck. Some days you're lucky and some days you're not. Some days you're really, really unlucky, and then you're lucky enough to get to go hang out with Garl. Maglubiet might be a good choice for you if, you want to feel that you're doing the right thing in combat. If you want to feel like you're a warrior of his.
So just as a quick side note, Candace, this is something you would also know of Garl, that Garl Glittergold is also the deity of protection and trickery, as well as luck, so he's kind of a trifold. But he is known as the Joker, the priceless gem, the sparkling wit, the watchful protector, the father of all gnomes, and then obviously oversees the domains of luck, trickery, and protection.
if you don't want to focus on being a warrior and you want to focus on being a protector, which I know that's where your heart is, I know Garl would take you. Garl is, you know, the lightheartedness of my people. It seems weird to say, but...
And as you say, my people, you also pull a piece of information from your knowledge, knowing that clerics of Garl Glittergold are known as the Glitterbrights.
Well, that's awesome.
I'll just keep tossing it at you. Just keep talking. Every little time you give me a chance, I'll insert myself.
That's perfect.
Wasn't that a oh god, not unicorn, but the My Little Pony. Was that one a My Little Pony?
Glitterbright. I mean, it might as well be.
It is now.
It's I think it's Rainbow Bright, but you know what? We're changing it. I'm gonna write a heavily worded letter to the directors.
Definitely had a Rainbow Bright doll as a kid.
See, my first thought was it sounds like a name for a Claire's employee.
So, you know, for me, I would be considered a Glitterbright. I am a cleric of Garl Glittergold. There are different jobs that you can do for him. So for me, you know, using his power to help others in one way or another, whether it be healing or otherwise, is my job. Being a protector could be your job. And honestly, I think that having you as a sister of Garl would just be amazing. So if it's something you're really interested in, they do have a temple here. If you want more information, we can go over there and chat.
And yeah, I'm sorry, I'm speaking Goblin. I forgot. Yes, I mean, I feel like that might behoove me.
Might behoove you
in one way or another to speak with the priestess. I don't know.
I did try to speak with the priestess last night, but honestly, I was rambling. I was really tired. But I think that's a good idea. I told her we'd be by to visit. It's not like we're going anywhere anytime soon anyway. Gray's gotta make sure he pays up on the room and the food. So we're here for a few days at least. But I do think honestly it would bring you some peace. I know I went from nothingness, like where you're at, to being raised in a pretty religious household of Timbers that believe in Garl, and it really does help, because if you feel like there's something else there, then there's something else there.
Yeah, that sounds good. Yes, I think after we finish our errands today, maybe I'll stop by and see what she has to say. If she has anything to say to me.
If you want me to go with you, I'd be happy to.
That'd be good. Yes.
Doc smiles for the first time in 2 days.
So, as this conversation is concluding, Doc, Ree, and Gray, as you're kind of looking around and listening actively to the situation, nobody really notices it, but suddenly there is a small... literally a youthful dwarven boy who appears next to Doc. Not literally out of thin air, but he comes out of fucking nowhere and sets this huge sack down, this big hemp sack on the table next to Doc on her right side. And as soon as it hits, it just screams of coin. You all instinctively kind of like, oh shit, where'd you come from, kid? And he kind of looks up at Doc and says, in common, he says, "Good morning, miss. Oh, sorry to scare you. Didn't mean to spook you. I just wanted to deliver this to you. It was payment for something. Very heavy. But that's okay. I'm real strong now. That's what my pup says. All right, bye now." And he starts to walk towards the door.
Doc looks for a second like she kind of wants to get up and follow him, but then looks over at the bag. I want to just peek. I want to peek in.
It is fucking loaded with silver and gold.
As the kid walks away, here's a joke for Seru. Gray would say, that kid is definitely the silent but deadly type.
God damn it. Seru's probably not even here. He's probably still playing fucking Airsoft. That's all right. You know what? I'm gonna take a note of it
He
and clip it.
did
I'm
show
gonna
up.
make it.
He
Oh,
showed
did he? Okay, good. That's for you, Saru.
So
That's
Doc
awesome.
will-
That's awesome.
Doc will look at the coin. Right. There is something else that I would like to talk about, but not here.
What, with me?
Probably, well, at least you, but probably everybody, so that way Gray doesn't, like, invisibility into my room at night and then kill me back.
What do you have to? You have to kill him too now?
No.
Oh,
Well, I don't have to.
don't.
She'll keep
Doc,
straight.
take a fucking inspiration point for that. That right there is some assassin level jokery, and I appreciate that.
See, that's Carl right there. See, that was funny.
Maybe now's not the time for that joke.
Okay. Maybe later. No, that I actually right now, as far as I know right now, I don't have to do anything anymore.
Why did you have to do anything before anyway?
The path started with trying to save a friend and ended with trying to save a friend. Initially, when I started, I thought that I was saving G-Bag. Turns out he was fine. So, I didn't know that until I got that last note about you.
Did he have some attachments? Was he part of some kind of secret cabal?
He never told me, but he disappeared. You know, we went from all day, every day together to he disappeared, and I thought he'd been kidnapped. I started getting orders and made assumptions that were apparently wrong. I'm not sure that he was a part of it so much as leading it at this point. I don't know. All I know is that you know, that last one was from him. And he was clearly fine, which I didn't think was the case prior. And so then it became saving you from him. Hopefully you can see where I was a bit conflicted through the last weeks.
Known about this for weeks?
Since we started. I didn't know about yours until I told you, but...
No. Well, I suppose we can move on from that mess. Though, again, I will be honest. I'm not. It's going to take It's going to take a little bit of time between the two of us for me to be totally comfortable around you. It will be a little awkward. Like I said, I've never been killed before. Nobody's ever managed to get that close. So.
Well, all I can tell you is that I will never, ever kill you again to keep you alive.
It's probably
If I can
not,
help it.
even if you had to promise that, I don't think you will.
I won't.
I'm
I
sorry.
didn't.
If you, I'm just saying, if you had to.
I'm gonna have to be a lot better.
Yeah.
But honestly, I'm right now, I'm trying to learn how to harness Garl's power to be able to just make sure that we never have to worry about you going through that again.
That sounds good.
Doc will finally start eating.
Okay, well, your food has definitely grown cold, but it still tastes delicious. I mean, the potatoes are crispy and fried, the onions are on par with that, and the meat, I mean, come on, it's dwarven meat. Okay, so, on that note, Aurora, while this is all happening, and you are outside trying to kind of take in your surroundings and kind of get a little bit more whereabouts as to what the hell is going on and where what is going on is going on. You catch a dwarven man Probably later middle-aged, pretty well grayed, but the bottom of his beard is still pretty dark since he hasn't trimmed it, showing that he's still not quite at that elderly point yet, but he's getting there. Very clearly part of the local Moradinian clergy. He walks past you, and as he does so, you hear a couple of his attendants, a couple of acolytes that are with him, much younger, one of them actually being half-elf and half-dwarf, a woman. They walk past you, and you hear him mention something about dark magic that had overtaken guards fleeing from the mines in the initial wave of guards that fled. You kind of are like, whoa, holy shit, that's kind of pertinent, and you begin to follow. They do not appear to notice you. You are well versed in keeping yourself hidden from the dwarven folk. What you hear from them as a follow-up is that the dark magic that had overtaken the guards that were fleeing was confirmed to be that of a fear spell cast by an arcane spellcaster. They also are talking and confirming that that there is a gang of creatures, they very specifically use the word gang, in the mines that are called Zvart. That is Xvart. They are very, very weak on their own, kind of like goblins, but in numbers, they are horrifically deadly. And they're even deadlier if they have spellcasting capabilities. These Zvart have the innate ability to speak with rats and bats, and they are very good, especially their leaders, at convincing rats and bats that they are also friendly to them. And that's about all you catch before they enter the Temple of Moradin.
Okay, then I am just going to kind of wander a little bit and just keep listening. Go kind of near the mines a little bit, just straight up listening, not going in anywhere so that I can be found. But I'm ears open, and also, you know, there's a part of her brain that's doing things like keeping track of how the guards move and stuff like that. That's just more habit than anything else, but she is consciously trying to figure out what the fuck's going on in the mind.
Okay.
The other part of her that's surrounded by enemies.
Okay, give me a perception check as you approach the mine, the exterior of the mine. The mine on the outside is guarded, but not to the point where they're crossing swords and saying you can't go in there.
Yeah,
15 is fine. So you hang out in front of the mines, in front of the iron mines, and just to kind of pull us back to the overhead map here real quick.
Sorry if you can hear me typing.
No problem whatsoever. Okay, so the iron mines we've got over here on the right-hand side. The gem mines are on the west side of Underhill, and on the east side are the iron mines. So the iron mines is where you approach, as you guys have pretty much narrowed down. Like, it had nothing to do with the gem mines as far as anyone is concerned at this point, but it was definitely the iron mines where guards had fled through and that the wounded and dead were dragged from. As you approach the mines, echoing off of the walls around the mines and even behind the doors, you hear the sounds of bats screeching on the inside. It's not constant. It's very sporadic and kind of speckled, but you definitely audibly hear the sound of bats.
Like large numbers, and definitely not something that I should be hearing outside in the morning when I'm not actually that close, right? Like it's a weird amount of bat sounds.
It is to you because you are not typically around areas where there are shitloads of bats. Rats, absolutely.
No,
bats, not so much. But you are hearing this from inside of the mine, and that's a pretty common thing for dwarves to have bats and squeaky things like that inside of a mine. As far as this early in the morning, absolutely. But you do not see any bats outside. It is all coming from behind the mine doors.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll hang out a little bit, and then when I realize, like, they're probably done eating, I should make sure that they know where I'm at, I'll end up, like, wandering back, but I'm still just ears open. I'm not staying cooped up inside. I'm keeping moving pretty much the entire time.
Okay, noted. All right, so you guys, back in the House of the Dwarf Lord Inn. You guys have come to the completion of your meal for the most part. You are brought water, your swill, your tea, honey, milk, whatever you wanted. And the entire time, your barkeep is very, very jovial, very pleasant, and very excitable every time he gets near Gray. So with that, you finish.
I know that feeling.
You finish your meal, and yeah, what would you guys like to do? We'll say that about this time, as you guys had just begun eating, Aurora re-enters. Aurora, you were going to come back inside, is that correct?
I wasn't planning on it, I'm just chilling.
Okay, fair enough.
Nearby outside. I don't really like being inside because I can't see what's coming.
I totally get that. Trust me, I, on a personal level, understand that. Yeah, so you guys finish eating. Aurora's not around, but that's common.
Yeah, so once we finish, Doc will patiently wait and make sure everybody's done, and then suggest, why don't we head outside and make sure Aurora's okay?
Yeah, alright. Let's do it.
I feel like she can take care of herself, but I also don't want to stand here all day. Let's go.
I didn't start a dwarven war. I was good.
Yeah.
Not yet. There's still time.
Yeah.
Okay,
We're
so...
here for at least 3 more days. Plenty of time.
Right, exactly. So it is, as you guys leave after all of this has transpired, we'll say it's about 11 a.m., not quite that noon or high noon point, but it's coming up to that point. It's starting to get a little bit warm in the day. Alright, so yeah, you guys step outside, you kind of glance around. And sure shit, there is Aurora hanging out over by the hay bales, trying to keep herself kind of out of harm's way. Very, very attentive to what she is looking at and listening to around her, but you guys do manage to see that she is there.
One thing I would have done is checked with the same sense what type of creatures are around thing to make sure nothing's changed.
For your primeval awareness? Yes. So
Yep.
as you activate that, identical to last time.
Okay.
Identical.
Hey, that grove had way too much shit changing too quickly, like...
That was the worst place for a ranger to say, I open my senses to primeval awareness. Because as a DM, I'm like, okay, let's throw some fucking dice. I mean, what do you want to see? Yeah, I'll take the one of everything. This is beer sampling.
I hate that it's a full mile, because realistically, it's 6 miles if I'm in my favorite zone. So, like, at the end of that, if I'd done that in the grove, 6 miles of creatures. Like, that's not super helpful.
It would have made our RP easy, though, because then I would have just said, okay, use your primeval awareness. Yes. Who's next?
What do you sense? Yes.
Yes, I do. Yes, you do.
As they walk out, Doc will be kind of... Like, her walk has changed, like, she seems a bit more like herself, and she's walking much closer to Ree than she was. Not right on top of her like she normally would, but she's not keeping a mile distance anymore.
Did you eat any breakfast?
I did not hear what you said as a player.
Oh, so Ree will shout to you, did you eat any breakfast? Did you eat any breakfast?
Yeah.
Potatoes?
I'll give him this. Those dwarves can cook.
Right.
She says it with, like, all of the, like, I don't want to even give them that compliment, but fuck if that food isn't good. 100% that tone. We should talk.
Who? Us? All of us?
Well, I'm not talking about the dwarves.
I don't know. Maybe?
No.
No. What's that?
Come on, that one clearly has an eye for you. Oh no, wait, that's just a skew eye, my bad.
Greg, give me a perception check.
I keep alt-tabbing and it's the wrong button.
Also, Doc, did you just leave that coin on the table? Because
no,
I'm pretty sure you did.
Sorry, yeah, I would have definitely poured that into the the bag of the coin purse.
So you, as you pour it into the coin purse, there's an additional 80 gold and 250 pieces of silver in that bag before it's emptied.
Thank you.
On that note,
Coin purse.
no shit. As you guys are stepping out and this conversation is kind of unfolding, Gray, you glance over and about 60, 70 feet ahead of you, near the Temple of Moradin on the eastern side, there's a small bench with a very, very tiny oak tree, probably, I don't know, 9 feet in height, so pretty small for an oak tree. And on the bench below it, you notice that goofy-ass random little dwarven boy sitting there, biting on what appears to be like a piece of hard candy, just gnawing on it.
I think he's gonna iterate to himself, silent but deadly, and then continue going.
You don't point him out.
No,
Okay.
he likes his contacts.
That's a fair point.
That's fine, Aurora. Do we need to go somewhere else to do that?
Nah, it's mostly just shit that's going on here. When all of you passed out last night, I stayed up, walked around a little bit, listened a lot. Are we helping them with their mind problem, or are we just getting the fuck out of here?
That's what I thought we were doing here.
Yeah, I mean, we can't get the fuck out of here. Gray has to tell a story on Monday, so we may as well try to help while we can.
We could have just thrown coin at them and then gotten the fuck out. I was hoping we weren't going to stick around here, but I had a feeling. All right.
Think of it this
Listen,
way.
you got... Go ahead.
Think of it this way, and he's gonna lean closer. He's gonna go, there might be some separated dwarves in the caves.
That's fucked up.
She
Appropriate.
definitely gets a contemplative, like, well, look. Okay. And she also gives, like, Gray, like, the appraising approval look, so, like... Okay. So, you know, they've got all their different minds, because of course they do. They just don't have enough minds. The iron mine in the northeast part of the... It's a town? Is town actually the appropriate word for this?
Yes.
Is it big enough to be a town?
Yep.
Okay.
It is barely fucking big enough to be a town. It's like right on the cusp of village and town.
The music is so heavy.
Okay.
They're dwarves, man. Everybody's hammering ore and stuff. You know, dwarf stuff.
It sounded a lot more spooky.
It did. I know. I heard that. All right. Anyway, sorry.
The iron mine in the northeast part of this village. There's a whole bunch of different rumors flying around. They're saying it's undead. It's not undead. Just trust me on that. There's no undead around here. Not within a solid mile, at least. But they are saying dark magic, fear spells from the Jvart that are inside, packs of them. If you get close enough, you can hear the bats screeching from solid few yards away, not even going inside. So there's something arcane in there.
Yeah, the guards definitely spoke of bats as big as gnomes, and he's gonna look over to Doc. And rats as big as halflings.
Yeah,
Seems bigger.
that matches.
Good to know that Rhea's still the tallest of you.
Yeah. Now, if we're talking about like rats as big as goblins, now we got a problem.
That's when we cut it off.
I mean, we've dealt with them before.
Rat reaches my height, then it's the end.
If
Oh,
we go
fuck.
in there and there's rats as big as you, then we're just going the other direction, right?
Just shoot it in the neck.
Well, of course.
I feel like bears are bigger than rats, and they're kind of just the same, aren't they? I mean,
Yeah,
just
at
big-
that point, there it's just a bear.
it's just a bear. Yeah. We fought a bear before. That fucking ooze black shit.
Oh yeah, that owl bear. Does that count as a bear?
Bear.
I don't know. That's some weird amalgamation.
Half owl, half bear. Yeah.
There aren't undead. There are elementals. And fiends. So I don't know entirely what to make of that. But it's the thing, at least.
Okay. Does your whatever you're doing radar tell you like what direction?
Maybe if I got better at it, I'm just listening to the land, I guess, and it's telling me that.
Okay.
Maybe if we'd stayed longer in the grove, I would have picked up more. I don't know, but I am certain of it, but I don't know how to get more certain about details.
No, that's okay. That's fine. We're all learning things.
I definitely don't
Okay.
want to stay in the grove any longer than we had.
So I don't mind the grove. It's starting to feel like home.
As if all the bushes were the size of your home.
Actually, that was the most time that I've ever spent with something akin to a roof over my head. It's kind of nice.
You guys are fucking killing me this week. I hope.
The other thing that I realized is that there's not a chance in hell we should go into those mines without getting you more bolts and me more arrows.
Yes.
Yeah, we should probably do a little bit of shopping before.
We also can't go in
Yes.
the mines without, I believe, the Ore Master's permission, unless you all feel like having Ree sneak in.
I can sneak in. I'm sneaky.
You could
Yeah,
I'm-
sneak in, yeah.
Let's do things the right way. We already got a cow torn in half. Let's just make sure that we're following rules, doing things the right way, so we don't end up getting somebody else in trouble.
Yeah, I don't want to get anybody else torn in half.
Aurora
Me either.
has that look of like, if someone's getting torn in half, it's probably a dwarf. So she's got that like, maybe this isn't such a bad thing kind of look.
It's a bad thing, Aurora.
It's a very bad thing, Aurora.
No
Oh,
tearing in half.
We also, before we go into those mines, Ree and I need to make a quick trip over to the temple, so that we can actually have a successful time in the mines.
Well, if we go towards the temple, then I can show you the dragonfire throwers that will shoot large gouts of flame.
I'm good.
Did you said dragonfire throwers?
Well,
Like
there's,
it was-
yeah, it's on the walls.
Yeah, Doc, make a quick history check for me, please.
22.
Yeah, easy, especially being from where you're from. I won't give that away quite yet. You know that the dwarves of Helmkar created what is referred to as a dragonfire thrower, and it is essentially the equivalent of a massive cannon that instead of shooting a single projectile, shoots a gout of flame, like a gout of liquid flame down onto enemy combatants that would be assaulting them. The only difference between what Helmkar may have and Underhill is that Underhill does not have walls. It just has freestanding towers, but it does not mean that those dragonfire throwers are any less fucking terrifying for combatants oncoming to the city. To the town, excuse me.
I'm not surprised by the dragonfire throwers. I'm surprised that you're familiar with them.
Do you really want to have the discussion about why I know as much as I do about dwarves?
I feel like I already know most of that discussion without us having this discussion.
Yeah, and suddenly everything makes way more sense. So you're like, oh yeah, that's right, this bitch. Not this bitch. It was that bitch. This bitch is different.
This bitch.
But if we're going to handle it, we should probably, if we want to play nice, then we should probably avoid starting a panic by telling people that we know more about what's actually going on, and if they're thinking that it's like attacking fools or some shit that's going to be dealt with in a week.
We don't know what's
Probably. No, but that's what some of them think it is.
I mean, they could be right too. You know.
There's no one dead.
Oh, that's right. You know that. Okay. Well.
Wait,
Let's-
are you reading those Sorrow Sworn guys?
Though the guards did flee screaming, they're certain it was a fear spell. So I don't think it's the Sorrow Sworn. But even if it might be, it's a good thing you two are friends again, since that is apparently the answer to everything.
Of course it is.
For when shit.
The
Disgusts me
lonely.
greatly.
The lonely were said to be terrifying, so I just think we shouldn't write that off entirely.
Nope, that's why we're getting more arrows and bolts. Because friendship is one thing, but a well-crafted arrow is something else entirely.
Good to the dwarves to craft arrows. Maybe the elves do it better. I'm not too sure. I don't care.
They all hurt the same when you get it in the neck.
Exactly.
Jack's
Well,
going
it
to.
depends. If we can find some of those barbed arrows,
Then you could tell us if that hurt worse, right? Right?
I'll leave her to shooting you since she's your height now. Thank you very much.
oh, but you make such a fine target. You're so much higher. No obstruction.
Save it for the dwarves.
I will always save it for the dwarves.
Oh shit.
On that we agree.
Let's go buy that stuff and head toward the temple, and then we can kind of make a plan from there.
Yeah, I want to turn my tooth into a hammer. So I gotta find somebody to talk to about that.
I think this is the right place.
I think so.
Okay. So, what is your plan? Where would you like to go? What would you like to do? You see the map. It is easy enough to say, hey, excuse me, can you tell me where I can find X, Y, and Z?
Well, yeah, and I think Doc was here before, right? We determined, I think so.
Correct.
Would she would know where like there's a marketplace and stuff.
Yep. Yeah, and there's not really like an official big town square marketplace. It's just, hey, yeah, I know the guy who sells pork fat. Is that what you're looking for? Because I got the guy, the guy in town who does that.
Okay, yeah. So
Not a whole lot of competition here between the trades. It's kind of a monopoly.
The pork fat guy, yeah.
Yeah, he's good. He's good. You had the potatoes, so you know.
yeah, I know the pork fat guy. I had to stitch up his hand one time. He cut himself. Why don't we? I think that the people, I guess everybody really that we're looking for is kind of in the same general area. So why don't we head over there? We'll buy what we have to buy. I'm not sure who we'll hit first, so whichever one we come up on first. I guess.
Okay, so as far as mundane shit on an out-of-character level, tell me, what are you guys interested in
I need
purchasing?
bolts for sure.
Okay. So, bolts. Give me one
And
moment.
I need a fuck ton of arrows because I'm going through them really, really fast now.
Yes, you are, with your fucking crazy shots. Alright, so, as far as bolts, Candace, you can purchase bolts. They will sell them to you for... So it's 1 gold for 20 bolts. So just tell me how many you want to purchase.
I'm seeing how much they weigh.
They weigh 1.5 pounds each for each quiver.
Okay. I'll just buy one.
1? Okay,
One
so you just
quiver,
purchase. Okay, so you have 20. Now, just so you know, you fire a hand crossbow, correct?
Yes.
These are. So let me back this up a little bit. Hand crossbow bolts are 5 silver, and they weigh 1 pound. They are
Okay.
way fucking smaller than regular bolts by
Okay.
like a long shot.
All right, so yeah, that's what I would do because that's definitely what I'm using.
All right, and you want to buy as many arrows as you can get, correct?
I'm already encumbered. I don't give a fuck about the weight.
I mean, that's fair. You ain't got to move if you can shoot. Okay, so they are willing to sell you. So every quiver of 20 arrows, of which you find 3, are 2 gold apiece. So it'll be 6 gold for 60 arrows.
I mean, I might as well.
You know, being a ranger and being an archer by trade, that is horrifically fucking overpriced. But these are dwarves. They don't specialize in arrows. They specialize in bolts. And black powder. Who wants a rifle? No, I'm just kidding. Actually, I'm not entirely kidding. You have seen people walking around with the large bronze tubes, which are terrifying. Sorry, go ahead, Kat.
Yeah, well, let me use it.
It takes more time to reload one of those than it does to fire a couple arrows in quick succession. So I'm good.
That is true.
Is this the type of place where I can attempt to haggle? And I can try and bring that price down a little bit, especially speaking Dwarven.
Yeah, you're speaking Dwarven. Never mind. I can't help you.
Lay it on me. What do you got? So the only person who knows even how to make a fucking arrow in this town has got 3 subpar quivers and decent arrows. No, they're not. They're not like they're not the best of. It's like they made them to spite the fucking druids, which are their next door neighbors. But they're legit. I mean, they are iron head arrows that are barbed. Like, if you get shot with this, it's gonna take a lot to pull it out. It's probably gonna fucking hurt. But the gal selling it to you, she's kind of an old gray, like salt and peppered hair dwarven woman. Slaps all 3 quivers on the table in front of you. So what do you think? It's my pride and joy.
I almost said she. With like.
Oh no, you didn't. And then we would be even.
Yeah, that's fair. So Aurora's going to pick them up, and she's, you know, obviously she inspects them, practice fly and everything. And
Make a performance check.
oh god.
It's not like even if you rolled a nat 1, it's not like you're gonna just fucking flop the whole thing. Okay, nope, we're good. We're on average. All right. So you start scoping it out. You really just kind of doing your thing with it.
Yeah, making sure that they're decent. And she'll say in Dwarven, I was not expecting to find ones that I was drawn to quite as much, but 2 gold.
She kind of blinks heavy. Make a persuasion check.
Not
That was
an
not
area of
great.
expertise. No, that was not good.
Oh, come on.
Oh crap, I forgot I had my inspiration, but oh well.
Nah, you can roll it if you want to.
Yeah.
This is the time to use it or lose it. Pop that bitch. To be fair, so you had a -1 on your roll.
Yeah.
I had a -2 on mine. Yeah, see, I was laughing because I rolled an 11 with a -2 is a 9, and you rolled a 7, and I was like, come on the fuck on. This was easy. This should have been easy. There's the 18, though. So you say 2 gold, though. You see her eyes get heavy as she glances up at you. All fucking right. Look, I made these thinking that the druids were gonna come and, you know, this was gonna be a big boom thing. I wasted all sorts of materials, all this iron, and now the situation with the mine. They're trying to burn them down to make ammunition for the towers. I'll tell you what. I'll do them for 1 gold, 5 silver apiece. That'll be 4 gold, 5 silver. You've got the lot, all 60, and I'll even throw in the strap attachment in the back because you're one of the small folk, so you need to adjust it to your size. No offense, by the way.
Now let's
Say that in Dwarven.
Yeah, it's all in Dwarven. As soon as she switched to Dwarven, this woman went, whoop.
Well, she'll think about it for a moment, and then yeah, she'll pass it over.
Okay, so she takes the coin. So yeah, it's 4 gold, 5 silver, and you gain 60 arrows, and it does come in 3 quivers, so they weigh 1 pound per quiver.
Oh, I don't have 5 silver. I'm going to.
I mean, Doc's right here.
I'm
You
right
can
here.
easily, yeah, you guys can easily exchange the cash.
Yeah, if you started reaching for like your coin purse, Doc would have been like, no.
As she slaps this empty bag on the counter and starts looking at the dust inside.
No,
Hey,
I-
you got
I
that
had-
dimension?
I had gold. I just didn't have.
No,
I
I've
didn't
got
have
it.
silver, so-
We have it. We have it.
So what do you need to pull out, Candace?
I'm
5
taking
silver?
4 gold, 5 silver out.
Oh, okay, so
Doc
Candace covers it, Doc covers it. Okay, you're good. Okay, so go ahead and add 60, or add 3 quivers of 20 arrows each, because they do weigh the 1 pound each. Not like it matters, but it does matter if you try to drop stuff later. So. Oh, alright, well, that's a fantastic transaction. Thank goodness I've got rid of those now. Anything else I can help you with, sweetheart? You looking for anything else? Tricks, traps?
Actually, I would like to find a gem that would fit in this, and she's going to take off the necklace, the pendant of memory that Spoker made her.
Oh shit. Okay, so you set the pendant down, and she kind of looks. She picks it up and she starts to eyeball it.
She keeps her like. She's very protective, like as she sets it down. She doesn't realize that she's being protective, but she cares about it a lot.
Okay, so she says, "Oh, sweetheart, this is beautiful. I don't know who made this for you, but it's clearly dwarven craftsmanship. And whoever this person was, loved you dearly. You meant the world to whoever this was. Unfortunately, I don't have a whole lot of gems that would fit this and do it justice. I'd suggest you go visit the Temple of Moradin, or maybe the Temple of Glittergold. Maybe the Glitterbrights have something for you. And if not, maybe you take it down to Ronald's rune smithy and you get something etched into the back of it. It gives you a little bit more pep in your step. I'm sorry, dear."
Aurora doesn't trust herself to say something and keep her voice level, so she's just gonna nod and fasten the necklace back around her neck.
And as you're kind of like grabbing at it and pulling it back, this woman reaches out and she pats your hand twice before you get it away and get the necklace equipped.
Okay.
Upon seeing the necklace, Xavier, I have 2 azurite and like 4 diamonds on me. Would either any of these like fit into it?
Let me just pop into your character sheet really quick, Gray. Let me take a look and see, because there is a distinct possibility, but it is a very specific sized gem that is required. So, so the diamonds are way too big, but the azurite would fit perfectly. Either one of them. Same size.
Thank you. Good to know.
All right.
He's not going to offer it. He just wanted to know.
Yeah. No problem. No problem whatsoever. Yep, azurite, yes. Diamonds, no. All right. So, what is the next bit of purchasing you would like to do?
We need to find someone to turn the tooth into a hammer, right?
Yeah. So Ree would.
The guard said there's a runesmith around here somewhere.
Yeah, Ree would have run back to the hotel tavern inn. I don't know why I said hotel. She'll run back to the inn and grab her tooth and go back to the rune smithy, Ronald's rune smithy to be exact.
Yep. So you guys draw a lot of attention as you're dragging this massive fucking molar through the streets. Not dragging it. I mean, you're lifting it with no problem.
Yeah,
But
strong fuckboy.
But there's a lot of dwarves that it is almost larger than that are like, what the fuck is that goblin doing carrying that thing?
I'm gonna turn this into a hammer.
A fun fact, sorry. Here's a fun idea I have. Raise, as they like stare at the tooth, they're gonna go, wanna hear the story of this? Join next Monday.
It's gonna like advertise the
Oh shit, give me a performance check. Okay, hold on, I gotta do some things here.
This
Give
is
me-
worth an inspiration.
Fuck yeah.
I'm glad I used inspiration. That's better.
God damn. So you get a cheer from the crowd initially. Not really a huge crowd, but, you know, probably 10 or 12 standby-bys. And they kind of go, oh, yeah, all right, let's hear it. Let's fucking hear it. And you go, come in next Monday, House of the Dwarf Lord Inn. And, oh, it's right, you're going over there. And then they switch to Dwarven, and you don't know what the fuck they're saying. It's just like a bunch of Scots screaming at each other. Okay, so you get to Ronald's
I've
room,
actually
Smithy.
heard that since I came here.
Yeah. So you get to Ronald's room, Smithy. And, hang on, I gotta take one more note. Because I know I'll forget it.
Lucy, I think that was a really, like, fun, clever thing to do there.
Yeah.
Thank you. Sorry, I was eating a chip.
What, no noodles?
I mean, that's what I've been doing.
The kitchen's downstairs. People are sleeping. I can't do that.
Man, fuck those people. Get yourself one of those things that heats up noodles, bring a cup of noodles up, and you're good to go. I shouldn't be giving you...
Cup of noodles.
I shouldn't be giving you ideas. Okay, so you go into... you walk into Ronald's room, Smithy. The lot of you do. And as you enter... It's a pretty decent setup. It's a very simple setup, though. As you walk in, it's probably a 40 by 40 square foot room. Dead in the center of the room, there is a massive iron anvil with a circle all the way around it. On the outside of the circle, so there's a circle that is inlaid with gold. On the outside of the circle, there are very vibrantly, like it is the light source in the room, glowing blue dwarven runes. On the anvil itself, which is about the we'll just give it some feet instead of just referring to the size of different creatures. It is about 5 feet long and 4.5 feet wide. On the center of it lies a massive warhammer. The warhammer has a single rune that is glowing, also blue, and it is illuminating the ceiling, but it's laying on the forge, on the anvil itself. On the right-hand side of the room, there's a small door that leads off to the east. On the west side of the room, there's a small door that leads off to the west. And then in the very far back of the room, there is a wall, floor to ceiling, pieces of parchment, which have been nailed to the wall, the wooden wall with a python. Single pieces of parchment with a one dwarven word rune inscribed upon them. And they're glowing all different colors, all of them, actively glowing. You see one guy who is kind of tracing through the runes, like he's looking for something as you walk in. He spins around, hearing the door open, and before you, you see a very fiery redhead. Male dwarf, probably about 80 to 100, pretty elderly, but still keeping the vibrancy of his own red ginger beard and hair alive. Very well put together. Beard is tied down in a single braid with 3 tiny braids on either side of the main large braid. Eyebrows are trimmed into perfect crescent moons above his head. No notable nose hair or ear hair, which is rare for kind of outlandish dwarves. And his hair itself is all slicked back. You can see that he's starting to bald. He's got this kind of receding hairline that's about a quarter of the way up his skull, but all of the rest of his hair is pulled back into a very tight ponytail in the back, which is bound in a silver clasp. He spins around, kind of eyeballs you for a second, and goes, "Well, now, this is a very interesting crowd, isn't it? Welcome to Ronald's Rune Smithy. I am Ronald himself. What can I help you with, my dear, dear, dear," and points to Gray, "my dear."
And this is in common?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Ree will saunter in and slam down a giant tooth on. You said there was like a countertop, or it was just.
No, there's no countertop. There's just a massive anvil in the center of the room.
Okay, yeah, she'll just step in and just drop it on the ground in front of her. It's like, all right, picture this, if you will. This giant ass tooth on the end of a hammer, beating the shit out of ogres and nasty motherfuckers down in that mine. What do you think?
He kind of glances at it for a second, and then he unfurls a large piece of parchment and begins to trace something on there. He kind of spaces out from what is around you.
Did I say something wrong?
When he spaces out, I want to look at those dwarven runes on the wall and see if I can make sense of them at all.
Yeah, actually, give me a... Well, you speak Dwarven, so give me a history check and do it with advantage, please.
I'm probably still not going to go well, but... Sorry, my thing just spazzed as I tried to put on the other monitor. Oh, fuck yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. Yeah, so as you're scanning the wall, you notice a couple of things that ring out to you. And they all read in a very particular setting. Even though it is a singular word rune, you read them as a phrase, phrase or word. Okay? So as you're going through, you see the following things. Orcish rune, cover. Goliath rune, ready. Celestial rune, contingency. Gnomish rune, magi. Dwarven rune, armor. Elemental rune, singe. Celestial rune, cure. Deep speech rune, arcana. And in the time that that it takes him to sketch whatever he's sketching to when he finishes, that is the bulk of what you are capable of gathering just right off the cuff. Though none of it makes any fucking sense to you. Alright.
Oh, that's fair. It's still potentially a, bargaining tool or something, or just a way to spark conversation.
Absolutely. So, as you finish taking account of that, this guy finishes. He kind of looks at it cockeyed, turns the parchment to the side. He slams it on the anvil next to the tooth, kind of like lifting it up and next to the tooth. He puts his quill down, and then he grabs a handful of something. You're not entirely sure what it is. It's some sort of sparkly dust that is lying next to the tooth on the anvil, and he sprinkles it over the top of the parchment, slams his hand down on it, and as he rubs it in, you hear him whispering what sounds to you like an incantation. Suddenly, the parchment flashes, and you all see this appear on the front of the parchment. And it begins to glow vibrantly. And he looks at the tooth and he says, "I think I have an idea for this rune, my dear. What about a rune of the goblin? Yes, this makes much sense to me. What do you think? I craft this beautiful tooth, this molar of..." And he reaches down with his face and
It's a giant ass monkey.
It's an ape, yes. Wonderful. What if I were to take this tooth, forge it into a hammer for you, a massive hammer, a maul, and then I inscribe upon it the power of the rune of the goblin.
What does that do?
It allows you to wield that maul without any issue whatsoever. I know your kind, and I mean no offense, my dear, are frail when wielding weapons intended for two hands. But you could see past that issue.
Some strong as fuck, boy.
You are strong.
I mean, that sounds fucking amazing to me. Not even gonna lie. Do I have? Yeah, no, yeah, dude, that sounds amazing. So what? How does this work? Like, I mean, like, just like.
Well,
is that the symbol that's going to be on it? Because that's pretty badass.
Yes, of course it is. This symbol will be imprinted upon the side. Once I am done carving and forging the tooth itself, I will then imprint this upon the tooth, and I will imbue it with energy from your people and mine. And I will call its effect into existence, and you will wield it against your foes with ease, my dear sweet goblin, with ease.
Wow, man. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. That intensity is like that's really working for me. Yeah, that's cool. I like it.
Wonderful.
Mostly because I don't think I want to say no because I'm afraid of what will happen. Also. But yes, that's I still really enjoy the idea.
You know a merchant by the name of Xavier. You remind me a bit of Middleton.
No, give me a second. When I have to make checks for my NPCs. Holy shit. He glances over to the, out of the corner of his eye, he glances up at you, Gray. Where do you think I learned how to enchant?
You actually
Explains
Xavier?
personality a lot.
No, I'm not Xavier. Are you kidding me?
I don't fucking know.
I am Ronald of Ronald's Rune Smithy. I am not the Xavier, though the Xavier has many masks that he wears, be assured.
Yeah, I know. I figure he's magical. Yeah, he's got all kinds of booyahs. I figure, maybe I don't know. Maybe he gets around and changes his appearance. I don't know.
Actually, well, I can ask after.
Yes, so, in order to perform this enchantment and the crafting of this tooth into a maul for you, I will require... Excuse me while I do the math. And he begins to tally on the back of the same piece of parchment. He's just writing numbers down. He finishes, he kind of crosses it off, slaps his hand on, he says, so, and he glances at Gray, since you know, Master Xavier, will only charge you 1,500 gold pieces for the work to be completed. That is the crafting of the tooth into a maul, and for the enchantment to be placed upon it.
That's a lot of cheddar. Do we have that? And then do you guys okay with it?
I'm okay with it.
1,500 gold.
Doc will, when reconfirms the amount, Doc's just gonna.
And yeah, you're like assessing the gold in your head, and I just actually looked at you're fucking fine.
We're good. So Doc will say.
Who else needs a maul? Cause we're good. Sorry.
Can I get like 3 or 4 of those, or what? Just get like a quiver of mauls, right?
Just a horrible maul,
Hey, if she gets arrows, I get mauls. I mean.
No, this is not an issue at all. Doc will start counting out the coin. I'll take it up.
Okay.
As Doc's counting, I want to point at the orcish room, the orcish cover. This one. What does it do?
As he's kind of like got one eye on the gold being counted out and glances up, he kind of squints and says, "Ah, yes, my Orcish Rune of Cover. That's a very interesting rune, actually, because, to be quite honest with you, nobody's ever purchased it. I scripted it when I was probably 50 or so years old, and I thought I was being clever because we had an orcish incursion in the area, and nobody purchased it. It's been gathering dust. Anyways, I digress. That's not what you asked. Yes, so I can inscribe that rune onto either a shield or flesh. While you are holding a shield that bears that rune, you can activate it, the rune itself, to surround yourself, and to surround any within you, any around you within 10 feet, with spectral shields for 1 minute. During that minute, you and anybody within your 10-foot radius will have the equivalent of cover from all attacks originating outside of said aura. If you don't hold a shield, obviously it doesn't work, but the caveat is if you have it inscribed upon your flesh, you don't need to hold a shield. And it can be used...
Shit, is that an option?
Yes, I can inscribe it upon your flesh. Or some runes, so actually, I should have asked if you were familiar with rune magic as a whole. There are certain runes that can only be inscribed upon specific weapons, armor, or shields, or other items. There are some runes that I have crafted specially to be inscribed upon your flesh, though they may require you to attune to them permanently while said rune is inscribed upon your flesh. You forego the necessary requirements of the rune itself. So, for instance, the Orcish Rune Cover. If I were to inscribe it upon her flesh, excuse me, as you were the one who inquired, you would not have to ever have a shield on your person. However, that rune would require permanent attunement to it, and then you would be able to activate that effect once a day.
Once a day, then. Can your celestial rune there be inscribed on flesh?
He glances up. Which celestial rune, dear? I have two. I have the contingency and the cure.
The cure one.
Ah, yes. Actually, the cure can only be inscribed on flesh. That one, as I finish the inscription upon your flesh, immediately grants you all knowledge of medicine. Out of game, that is a proficiency of medicine permanent effect. It also holds 3 charges, the rune itself. Once used, the charges refresh the next dawn. And during that specific day, you can activate the rune to cast a Cure Wounds spell using, out of game, your own wisdom modifier, back in game. And you can invest more charges to increase the circle of potency for said spell. So, there are 3 charges, so that means you can either perform a 3rd circle Cure Wounds once a day, 3 first level Cure Wounds spells 3 times a day, or a 2nd and a 1st, obviously respective. I'm sorry, did that make sense? And he kind of looks at you all very concerned. I don't mean to be overloading you with...
No,
That went way over my head, you know.
That's fascinating. Doc, how would you feel about getting a rune inscribed upon your flesh?
This guy perks the fuck up, and his eyes go straight down to Doc.
Well,
Would you like to have a rune inscribed upon your flesh by me?
It would look really cool if you got it on like your lower back, right?
like right in the middle.
Like right in the middle, yeah.
Yeah.
We call those tromp stomps.
Tromp stomp.
Holy Trump stomp.
Oh, the tromp stomp. I was actually going to ask about the contingency and how that one works as well.
Sorry. Okay. So he looks up and he says, "Ah, yes, the other celestial rune. You know, many people are curious about the celestial runes, but they never follow through with it. It's a lot of flesh and magic and ley line dust, and people get confused and nervous about it. So yes, the contingency rune. It must be inscribed upon your flesh via tattoo. During the inscription of the rune, I, being the runesmith, must cast a spell from my own memory, from my own capability, which is what makes this rune very interesting, because all contingency runes performed by runesmiths, whether they be wizard, sorcerer, druid, cleric, all different possibilities. We must choose, cast, and infuse a single spell into the contingency rune. The spell can only target a single creature and must have a specific but simple guideline for the trigger, which I also imbue into it. For example, the trigger can be something along the lines of when the creature is knocked unconscious, or when the creature dies, or when the creature is at half stamina or vigor, or when the creature becomes paralyzed, when the creature falls asleep, when the creature gains a curse. Okay? Stay with me. The first time the specific statement comes to fruition, the rune flashes, or so I hope. I've only performed one and never seen it activated. And the spell that I have imbued in it will manifest upon the trigger condition. Once that rune is used, it becomes dormant until the next dawn. Once it is empty, however, the rune can be recharged on the next dawn, but the caveat is you must cast another spell into it. You must unleash energy back into the rune to recharge it.
Does it recharge the original spell, or does it...
Always the original spell, and you must have a spellcaster to who can perform that spell recharge the rune, and it does not have to be the caster.
Okay. What were you thinking, Aurora, with the other one? What was your thought process?
I was thinking that having...
Really quick, sorry, just by the way, when you point up at that, just really quick, as the contingency thing, as he is discussing this and pointing it out, he starts to make some hand motions. The parchment itself flips over, and on the back you see this.
That's cool as fuck, boy.
Yeah, I really like your rune.
Thank you.
Aurora says, I think that having Garl to support and guide is all well and good, but we should only push our luck so far. I think that one could be really helpful for you. And I mean, you've already got the medicine skills history. It could only help and improve, enhance what you're already damn good at. And that way you can help even when, you know, you don't have the energy.
Yeah,
Plus it would look good as a Trump stomp.
God damn it.
Trump stomp.
well, I feel
You
like
said that's your fault.
I know.
I feel slightly obligated to get a Trump stomp. I was thinking about if we did the contingency, it should be somewhere where you guys can see it, so that way you know that it worked. but then
But we'd
others
have
would
to be
too.
able to cast into it, too.
I'll be able to. Well, if so, what I was thinking was it might be a good one for Revivify. But I mean, maybe the other one's better. To answer your question, no, I'm not opposed whatsoever. Tattoos weren't really as much of an option before, because I was, you know,
Covered in fur.
furry.
Probably could have shaved.
Would you want to?
Oh, I don't want fur in general.
Okay, let's not be hurtful.
I couldn't pull it off.
Good save. I'm going to. So how much does it cost to do one of these on the flesh?
Oh, well, they're all different costs because obviously they are much more potent in one way, shape, or form than another. But which one would you like me to tell you about in particular?
Which do you think?
Celestials, right? We should at least find out about.
Sorry, Gray would kind of interrupt and be, because he's been thinking as he's talking about the runes and stuff, and Gray's gonna go, you have a rune that enhances magical knowledge, or I guess my charisma maybe.
He kind of looks down at you and he goes, sorry, give me a sec. Sorry.
I've been thinking about the Dwarven rune for you,
Holy
Barb.
shit, Hex. Guys, give me just
Considering you
20 seconds. Hex, thank you.
I'll know your love.
You already know what I'm gonna say. I give you a little this, little that, little this, little that, little
yes,
pray,
but
little up,
considering
down,
you
left,
seem
right.
to walk
Thank
into
you.
Swords
We are gonna keep going. I appreciate it, but
maybe
thank you
that one
so
might
much
help.
for that raid.
What does it say?
Okay, sorry, that was a 10-person raid.
It
That just went
says-
deaf.
Yeah, that's fair. It says, assuming I'm reading it correctly, it says Dwarven armor.
Thank you, but I prefer something that increases my knowledge.
Why not both? Depending on price.
So,
One's
as this guy is looking up at you, he kind of glances you up and down, and he begins to say, you want something that will enhance your natural charismatic nature, is that right, Mr. Gray?
or knowledge of magic in general. Either is fine.
I'm sorry, did he just say Mr. Gray?
Yes, he did.
Sure did.
That's what people call. Oh, I never said my name. Yeah.
As that happens, you guys see Gray's eyes flicker momentarily with blue electricity, and the spear lights up, and you hear,
Master?
Yes.
Something is wrong with this one.
I could tell that when he started laughing maniacally.
No tattoo. You don't get tattoo.
Why?
We need to talk. Later. Dark magic. No good. I see it firsthand from goblins. It's not you. You are better than this, master. Also, I'm hungry.
What do you even eat? You're a spear.
I eat. Okay, you got me there. But I'm still hungry. Maybe we'll have some more potatoes.
You're a spear. How do you eat potatoes?
I don't know, master. Just fucking put me in the pile of potatoes, please. I'm hungry.
Like a child all over again.
And you.
and you hear the voice fade off into the distance as it gets very quiet, as the childlike energy is very much faded. You then hear the dwarven man finish what he was saying, and he says, I truly don't think you need much more charismatic nature, my friend. But if you are interested in improving your magical capability, I do have a couple of runes, or maybe I can craft one specifically for you if you are interested. Is there something that you are looking for in particular? I have an elemental rune called Singe. I have a rune by the name of Arcana. I have a gnomish rune by the name of Magi that I can inscribe upon you to make your targeted spells a little bit more potent, a little bit easier to hit. Is there something particular that I can help? I mean, what exactly is it that you want?
I'll get back to you on that.
Yes, please, let me know. But if you're serious about magical potency, remember this, my friend. Gnomish rune, Magi. Deep speech rune, Arcana. Or, potentially, elemental rune, Singe. Mr. Gray. Yes, so, ma'am, about that, about the celestial rune, is there something I can help you with one way or another?
So what do we think? And she'll be looking at like Ree and Aurora. What do we think will be the most useful?
Why don't we find out how much they cost?
Yeah, that's a good place to start. Yeah.
Okay. How much do each of these cost? Each of the celestial. We're trying to decide, which one we want.
Oh, I'm sorry. Were you, sorry. You want to know the prices of every single one of my runes?
No, just the celestials.
Ah, the celestials. Yes. So, one moment, please. So the contingency is contingent upon the spell that is imbued into it. Fortunately for you, I am an acolyte of Moradin, and I perform clerical spells up to the 3rd circle. So that is your choice there. If we are going as far as the 3rd circle, we are looking at probably close to 2,000 gold pieces.
Okay.
And if we are going the other direction for the cure, we are looking at 1,600.
What did the cure one do again, Aurora? It was the one that would let me
Gives
have
like proficiency in medicine.
It's
Right?
the one that helps you have a complete understanding of medicine and then cast 3 circles worth of cures.
And she just
once
spoke
a
that
day.
in character as perfectly as I could have possibly said it out of character, but just so we're clear before anybody makes a decision, so we're not wasting money or anything without clarity. Yes, so it reads exactly as follows. This rune can only be inscribed upon flesh via tattoo. The bearer of this rune immediately becomes proficient in medicine. You have to spend an attunement slot, which until the rune is removed is permanently attuned to. The rune holds 3 charges. Those charges refresh at dawn, and then as an action, the bearer of the rune, meaning the person who has the tattoo, can activate the magic of the rune to cast Cure Wounds. You can either spend 1, 2, or 3 of those charges to cast a level 1, 2, or 3 Cure Wounds. When you're out for the day.
Okay, so if I cast a level 1, I could then cast a level 2.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. It's either like a level 1 and a 2, 1 level 3, 3 level 1s. Yep,
Right.
that's it.
I think you're right. I think that one's the better one. Maybe another time I'll be able to.
Also, quick note, it uses your wisdom modifier for the extra health that is added to it.
Okay. Yeah. So I think you're right. I think that one would be the better choice. I think that I feel really comfortable with having that extra. I think that's a good idea. So she kind of like gulps for a second. I think that we would like to purchase the cure.
Celestial Rune Cure. Yes, upon your own flesh.
Yes.
I have to be really creepy about that every
Yeah,
time.
could you not smile like maybe like so big?
It's like dial the creepy down to like the
Joe's actually going to ask about insight things because he is very creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah, both.
Especially
Yeah, Cat and Gray. Go ahead and give me a insight check, both of you. As he glints down, he says out loud, "Can I be honest with you? Not many people visit me, and it has nothing to do with the creepiness. It's just that people aren't big on tattoos here. Moradinian law says that nothing can be branded upon thy flesh, for you will burn for eternity in the hells of the Ninth Circle, which is the worst circle." 19 and 18. This guy is sincere as fucking day. He believes what he is saying is legit, and you sense no alternative motives from him.
As he says that about Mordine and the Ninth Circle of Hell, Doc, you can like see her like quickly trying to go through her mind, like, is this against the rules of Carl? Am I gonna burn in hell for?
Make a religion check. That's a good fucking question, though.
Oh no.
Like, Garl would be cool with it.
Yeah, Garl's like, fuck it, you want to tromp stomp? Get it.
Oh, it was almost a 19.
Go, Garl. Got it.
A 3? You're caught off guard. This guy is way fucking creepier than you can handle right now, and you blank. You're like, Garl, and you feel like little, like, glitter specks hitting you in the head, but you're like, I just got fucking nothing.
I got my foiled helmet on.
So he says, so, the Celestial Rune Cure for you, and are you moving forward with the Goblin Rune on the mole?
And if you guys are still cool with it, yeah.
Yeah, I think I already took the gold out for that.
Oh,
but-
did you?
Yeah, I did.
Oh shit, sorry, I didn't.
No, that's okay.
I didn't even see it.
Let me make sure.
So we're looking from 41.57 down to 26.57. Okay, and that was with the So, did you take the 1600 out?
I have not. No.
Okay, so go ahead and drop the 1600. So you're down to like 1,057 gold. Although that's still not an issue. You guys, with that removed, you guys still have over 6,000 gold pieces equivalent.
Damn.
Yeah. Okay, so
Did we just casually dropped more than 3,000 without batting an eye?
to be fair, for the last 3 months, you guys of us playing time, like real world time, you guys have been playing in a fucking druid encampment where all you've done is buy drugs and get people killed. So it was about time to spend some cash.
Well, I mean, you put it like that.
We brought people back to life.
That's true. More than you should have. More than any other adventuring party would have. Okay, so you guys pay the gold. He says, just so you're aware, as far as the mole is concerned, it's going to take me probably 3.5, 4 days just to craft the mole, and another 4 days to put the enchantment into it. This is pretty potent, as long as that's all right with you. So we're looking at 8 days total. Today, I believe, is the 18th of Mugem, so we are looking at the 26th of Mugem to be the completion time for the mall. However, I can start that when we're done. The tattoo, that will take me all of 5 hours.
To inscribe it on your flesh.
Why did you say it so creepy like that?
That's exactly the way you say it.
I am...
Did get you pretty spot
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah, right?
accurate. You should be a bard. That was spot on.
I should be a bard. You want to hear
No.
a song?
I do. Yes, I do. Please lay it on me.
She'll sing Set Sail for Ale.
Oh no!
I knew it.
Make a performance check.
Ray's gonna bust out the war drum. I've been practicing.
Who? Wait, what? Did you say Gray? Oh, fuck yeah. Make it with advantage since Gray is beating the tune on the war drum.
With advantage? Okay. Alright, let's see if I can do better.
I don't know if you're going to get better than 14, but if you do.
Probably not.
Funny enough.
Oh no.
14's still not bad. So you start going fucking screamo, set sail to ale, blah, 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 and that war drum is just slapping. This guy is getting into it. He actually grabs the molar. He palms the molar. He's picking it up, and he's dropping the offbeat off of this anvil. Ting, 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 ting. And you guys go on for probably 4 or 5 minutes before you come to the conclusion. You let off your final screamo, try to catch your breath, and he drops the molar, and he's like, that
Right.
was fantastic. Brava. Have you been to the House of the Dwarf Lord Inn? You should perform there. That is fantastic music.
Oh, well, actually, my man Gray up here is going to be performing there Monday. No, wait.
Really?
The story of this tooth, exactly.
Yeah.
He kind of glances at the two. Gray, make a persuasion check. This is what I'm going to call a passive persuasion check.
19.
He glances down at the tooth, glances back up. So you're saying I don't have 8 days?
Nope.
Better hurry.
Fuck me. It's gonna be a long 4 days. Would you mind coming back for your tattoo on Tuesday?
No, that's fine.
Is that all right?
I have some things I need to do. That's fine.
Wonderful. Get out,
Oh, okay.
please.
Doc gets out quickly.
Run.
Okay, I'm out. I'm gone.
Head for the hills. Set sail for ale. Da, 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 da.
When we leave, I want to glance behind because I have a feeling I'm going to see an open sign switch over to closed.
And sure as shit, he follows you guys out. And as he does so, he glances around both corners. There's not really a close sign, but he slams the door shut. The little open window on the front closes, and you hear click, click, click.
Gray's most definitely gonna have like a shit-eating grin on his face.
That was well played.
This tooth is definitely working out pretty well for us. Not gonna lie. I'm glad I pulled it out of that monster's face.
Do you think we could get someone to carve down this one? Maybe cut off some of the excess on it?
That would have been the guy, but I don't think you're getting back in there.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
No, I was going to ask, but I don't necessarily need it magical. But shaving off a couple pounds would be nice.
Make like a couple daggers out of that, right?
I was thinking I was actually thinking about a carved, like, quarterstaff. Maybe find one of the crafters to carve some of your stories into it.
So I was going to ask this over in there, but do we know if anybody reached out to Xavier after I came back to life?
Did you speak to him?
No, I didn't. I know Beaufort told me that he told him that I was dead.
Yeah, he wasn't too happy about that.
I asked Beaufort to reach out to him to let him know I was alive, but he didn't have the spell.
So he's been in mourning for however many days?
I thought he talked to you.
I don't think so.
I also feel like he talked to you.
Xavier, can you confirm or deny? I feel like it didn't.
He did talk to you, yes.
He did? Okay.
He did reach out to you, yes. Just to make sure you were alive.
Alright, thank you.
And you confirmed it, and that was the last you heard of him, but that was like... actually, hang on. I might be able to tell you exactly. Yeah, so that was like 7 days ago. Wait a minute. Have we been playing this game for 40 weeks and have only gone 2.5 weeks of in-game time? Are you
Pretty much.
fucking kidding me?
Pretty much, yeah.
What a weird campaign.
Hang on, we spent 11 days in the Sunless Citadel.
Yeah, but that was 11 of the fucking... So that was 1, 2, 3... Yeah, you guys making...
We had to-
Oh, well, hold on. No. I may be wrong.
Because I remember, because she was desperate to get the fuck out of underground at that point.
No, nope, that's accurate. That is absolutely 100% accurate. Because you guys went from there over to Middleton, straight to the Grove, and the Grove was, yeah, no, we're pretty fucking on par. Anyways, yes, you have
Okay.
touched Xavier knows you are alive.
Okay. Oh, that's right. I wanted to tell him that I wasn't a cat anymore, I think.
Correct.
Okay, that's what I had done. Okay. Yeah, I'll have to... I need to reach him before he meets with us again so that it's not a terrible surprise, I think.
Then you can write him a letter. I have enough voices in my head already. Thank you. Xavier's is not one I wish to hear.
I wouldn't dream of asking you to do anything for me, Gray.
Perfect. Glad we're friends.
But you love me, Master?
Love is a strong word. It's more forcefully attached.
You appreciate me.
Just stay silent.
Okay, night-night.
It's hilarious that I hear
giggling.
Yeah, can hear Candace's like modulated giggle in the background.
Sorry, I try to hold it in, but it's so difficult. Okay. Well, do you want to head over to the temple? We have some time.
Yeah, sure, we can do that.
We should go to the temple, and should start in the mines while it's still light out. I don't particularly want to deal with the bats and rats and ogres and Javart when it's night.
I mean,
That's
it's gonna
fine.
be dark in the mines anyway, right?
You do still have to talk to the what did they call them? War master? Work master? I don't know, something like that.
Well, do you and Aurora want to go talk to the Ore Master while Rhea and I go to the temple, and then we can meet back at the rune smithy before we head over?
Gray's gonna look at you and smile, and you go, "We want the fallen Azimar and the halfling that really hates dwarves to go to the head dwarves office."
Should
Good
the
idea.
fallen
Let's go, Aurora.
Asmar go into the temple instead?
I mean, he's already started walking and telling Aurora to go.
It's a good idea, but why don't we, as she's like starting to catch up with him, because she moves very slowly. It's a good idea, but why don't we meet at the Fourth Lord Inn for, second lunch instead?
Okay.
Lunch? How much do you eat?
Way more
I
than
may
you would
have
assume.
I may have the body of a halfling, but I still have the stomach of a halfling.
That is definitely one hell of a stomach.
Well, as we're walking over toward the temple, Doc's gonna say, okay, so before we go in there, I want to fill you in on the glitter gold dogma.
Okay.
So, a big part of it is just having a sense of humor, because life gets hard, so you can't take yourself too seriously. Okay? That's the important part. Yeah, you definitely have that. That's why I think this is a really good fit. You can't be afraid of change. You have to be able to roll with the punches. Like, I
do both of those literally, so
you,
yeah.
Yes, you do. Yeah, you do roll with the punches. But things are going to constantly change, and we have to be able to adapt and just trust in the luck. And accept whatever luck you're getting. So sometimes it's not the best, but there's a reason for it. And then the biggest thing to take home is just do what works. In all things, do what works.
I mean, based on all that, this guy doesn't sound so bad. I mean, I've heard a lot of other guys be like, other guys are like this. Just for a good example, the whole no tattoo thing. I mean, it's kind of bullshit, right? I mean, get a tattoo if you want.
Kind of bullshit.
No tattoo, and he does the tattoos. I can't imagine.
Yeah, it's weird.
But I wanted to make sure that you knew that before we walk in here, so you kind of get a feel for what you're going to walk into. And I mean, you know me. Like I said, I was raised by followers of glitter gold, so you kind of know what to expect.
Yeah, fair enough.
So she'll head we're talking as we're going to the temple, and then.
Okay, so you guys approach the temple. Go ahead and give you a little scene change. Sorry, go ahead, Lucy.
By the way, Xavier, I know we only have like a few minutes left, but I need to go on the dot.
Okay, no problem.
Take
Yep.
my sister to a fair tomorrow.
Ooh, all right, going to the
That's
Bristol Fair. We will, I promise you, brother, we will be out of here on the fucking dot, okay? If I gotta shut these people down and say, shut your fucking role play up, we out.
Thank you.
All
I mean,
right,
worst comes to worst, I can put an arrow through your neck, and that'll take
There
care
you
of
go.
it.
let's not get crazy.
Through the calf.
Let's not get half orky, okay? Okay, so
Time's going.
So you guys approach the temple of Garl Glittergold, and here you are at the temple that I did not create, but I definitely took from somebody and made my own. But it is what it is. You got yeah, right. Which is actually kind of funny because most of my shit I make to a T. Actually, like the House of the Dwarf Lord Inn took 3 hours today and just built it. I was like, you guys are gonna spend a lot of time here, I think. So, all right. So great.
Sorry.
No, it's not a bad thing. I fucking love it. I like when you spend spend time in places that I make, whether you like it or not. Like that prison in Middleton.
Oh.
Remember that?
Yeah, that was fun.
I remember that. All right.
John remembers.
So you approach the exterior of the temple. It is surrounded by some very lightly foliaged surrounding small courtyard. And then you see the marble stone and the big walls, and all over the exterior there are golden nuggets hanging from large chains. And I'm talking gold nuggets, not being coy, literally the size of humans hanging off of these massive silver chains like you would see going into a port city, like with big, imposing anchors. But it's gold nuggets. As you enter the actual temple itself, you notice pretty much the same exact thing, but on a much smaller scale. From the ceiling hangs thousands of silver, platinum, gold chains, and at the end of them are little tiny gold nuggets, a lot of them, all the way across the ceiling. It's gorgeous. As you look up, the chandeliers catch them and make them almost look like stars in the sky, like stars lost in the sky. Surrounding you, there's a set of pews, a set of marble columns, there's a couple of doors that lead off to the east and the west, and ahead of you at the cistern there are two individuals. One of them nobody recognizes, but it is a human woman, and she is currently preaching to the group in Dwarven, in Gnomish. So that would be Candace. I think you were the only one who speaks Gnomish. So you hear it in Gnomish about the golden days of the Trickster Lord. And there is the woman behind her who, Candace, you recognize as Clanesh Goldencaw. And she was the temple matron or the temple leader. She's a dwarven woman with alabaster skin, in probably about her mid-50s, wearing long, flowing golden robes with a golden train coming off the back of her tiara and a large golden nugget on a silver chain around her neck. What would you like to do?
So what do we do? Do we just go up to her and say hey, introduce me to your god or something, or how does this work?
Let's let her finish her service, so we'll go take a seat, but we'll go up front, and then when she's finished, they usually will give you a chance to approach and talk, and we can talk with her then.
Okay.
And I'll translate as quietly as possible in common, I guess, for Ree, so that she knows what's being said.
Okay, so she finishes her sermon, almost like a sub-sermon, because she's obviously not the temple leader. And as she departs, what you hear are just tales of the trickster god. She's focusing very much on the trickster portion. How Elidamara came down from the elven heavens and decided to create a crossroads, and that's when Garl turned the crossroads into an X, and the X created a hex on humanity and cast the elves back into hell where they belonged tee hee ha ha, they didn't stay there for long because Elitamara fought their way out and the gnomes went into hiding for 1,000 years. Silly gnomish tales like that. Once she finishes, she begins to move away from the cistern and down the stairs, where she grabs in the corner a very large basket on a pole. She turns it around, very much like Catholic Mass for anybody who's ever been to one, and she begins to walk around the room, holding out the very large basket, empty basket, to a crowd.
What's a typical good offering
Within the realms of Garl?
Yeah.
Give me a second. Wow. I don't think I've ever been asked that before.
Well, I got the money, so.
Well, no, that's the funny thing. I don't think I've ever been asked, but I have the information. Hang on, I gotta actually go back to campaign fucking 1 for this info.
Sorry.
No, it's not a bad thing. I wish people throughout the last 10 years would have asked me this stuff.
I didn't play a religious one.
I know.
Can't believe how clericy you're clericing tonight.
Very
Bringing the barbarian over.
I needed sleep.
Okay.
Clarity. Can I introduce you to our Lord and Savior, Illidan Stormreach?
You stop it, goddammit. Okay, so it is a 5% tithe on anything that you earn, according to the laws of Garl. But 5% is based on how you perceive that.
Right.
Is that 5% on your total divided by 4 because they own 4%, or they own, 25%? It's a lot of fucking money.
If it's what I earned, I have that number, so I'd probably go with that.
5% of your kills body parts. As the halfling, former half-orc halfling slaps down 6 legs, a head, and, like half of a penis. Here you go. Take your fucking enjoy.
So Doc will actually drop.
I know you half-orcs.
Doc will, especially with this being her first visit to a temple in quite some time, she'll drop actually 20 gold in there into the thing.
Okay, you drop the 20 gold coins, and the eyes on the woman who is collecting go fucking wide. So in perspective, 20 gold is enough to feed, a family of 5 farmers for at least a year. Mm-hmm. That is a lot of gold. That's no bullshit. So she kind of steps up, puts the basket over to Ree.
I'll quickly hand 3 gold over to Ree, just whatever I can grab really fast.
Oh, yeah, here.
Okay, so you throw, Candace, roll a d6.
Okay.
Alright, 5 gold. So you get handed 5 gold, boom, pop it in the basket. She looks very pleased, and she continues to move on. Alright, so she moves on. Whoops.
Oh, she's changed.
Yeah, what the fuck did I do there? Holy shit. Okay, settle down, Kev. That's me, Kev, not you, Kev. I'm talking about. I'm pep talking myself. Look at it, I'm stretching her out.
Getting all
Having a good time.
Alright, she's out of here. Fuck that. Fuck her. She's gone. She gone! God damn, she gone. Okay. So the woman at the front, she continues the sermon for another probably 5 or 10 minutes in common, and this time she's talking about how the good faith in the patrons of the order of Garl, or of the Glitter Brights, or the Bright Glitters, the folks who know luck when they see it, as she continues to repeat, that they are loved regardless of what they are able to donate to the church as a whole. She concludes and says, if anybody'd like to approach the altar to make a willing gesture towards the god of luck and gold, you're more than welcome to. If not, you see yourself out, and we'll see you next week on Wednesday. Thank you, lovelies. Bye-bye now.
Doc will give a gentle little nudge. Okay, that's our cue.
That's us. Okay.
She'll lead so that way it's not too awkward for Ree.
Okay. So, you see people starting to kind of get in line. Most people start to bail.
Trying to get behind that person, but it's not letting me.
You have to hold Alt, and then you can move your character anywhere you want to.
Thank you.
Yep, trust me, I learned the hard way. That was like one of the first things I had to learn. Okay, so the first person kind of comes up, and the woman at the altar, or at the cistern, she looks down and she says, "And what do you have to offer the great girl in the sky, my dear?" And this dwarven woman, she puts her mace down and she says, "I've slaughtered an ogre in the iron mines, sister of the cloth. Crushed his fucking head in with my mace. Watched him bleed out. Watched him breathe his last. I need to pay my penance, 'cause I could see and feel in his eye he attacked me, not by choice, but by the will of something else." She bows her head, and the woman steps around the cistern, and she kneels down, and she reaches into a small bag, pulls something out of it, and as she places her hand over the head, you see this golden dust, kind of almost sand-like dust, drip over the face of this woman, and she begins to mutter a prayer in Gnomish, which, Doc, you understand as essentially like a quicker version of a ceremony spell, and she is trying to purify this woman. And she finishes the incantation. The woman's pauldrons, they flash white and gold light for just a moment before fading, and you hear her take a deep breath. "Thank you, sister." She says, "Go in peace, my child. You had to do what you had to do, and we understand that." She pats her on the head, and she stands up, and she begins to walk away.
Are we next?
Yeah. Yeah. Come on up. Come.
Okay.
So Doc will step up to the bottom step there, and she'll say, "It's morning, right? Still morning?"
Yeah, it's probably about it's actually probably about noon now. We've eaten an hour. By the way, we have 5 minutes.
Okay. Good afternoon, sister.
Hello, my sweet. Oh, my dear, you said you were going to be back today. You were looking for something special. We're going to do purchases afterwards. We have a whole plethora of magical items, salves, potions, if you're interested. Is there something I can help you with right now, though?
Yes, actually. And she'll look over toward Ree.
She looks down at you lovingly. Very matronly, motherly eyes. Just very, okay.
So, Ree was recently forced to face her mortality, and understandably so.
But she's here, lucky little devil.
She, before now, didn't have really any reason, any reason to seek out faith anywhere. And now that she is where she is needing guidance. And honestly, I've been traveling with her for a while, and I think that Garl would fit very well in her life, and so I wanted to bring her here and see what we could do to give her that peace.
Make a persuasion check. With advantage, because you are a cleric of Garl Glittergold. Alright. She looks at you kind of cockeyed for a moment, and then looks down at Ree, and she eyes Ree up, and you see her, she takes a couple of deep breaths. And she you see her look off into the distance, kind of above you at the chandeliers, at all the gold nuggets on the ceiling hanging down. She looks back down at Ree. She says, "Do you feel that the god of luck, protection, trickery, jovialness, and gnomes truly reaches out to your heart, dear?"
Honestly, I don't know. I'm just, I guess, trying to feel my way around my own death and what that means and how I can make it not so fucking terrifying.
So,
being honest,
she comes around the podium. She sits on the edge of the cistern as a whole, and she reaches into the back of her own neck and she pops off her silver chain and gold nugget, and she reaches it down, or she hands it down to Ree, and she says, "I think that you need to take this and do just a wee bit of inward reflection. You don't need to ask questions or receive answers right now. Right now it's time to focus on you. But I think this might help you just a little bit. Take it, put it around your neck, and sleep for a few nights with it and see if it does anything with you. If it doesn't, you bring it back to me. If it does, you come see me and give me a hug, a handshake, and a thank you."
Ree will reach up and she'll take the necklace and she'll thank you. Yeah, I'll do that. I've been thinking a lot lately, more so than usual. But yes, I will definitely take you up on that offer.
Very good, dear. She glances down at Doc. "And thank you. You, true devotee of the faith." She reaches down and she puts her hand on your shoulder. She kind of pulls you in close, almost awkwardly close, but not quite, because you know she's a sister of the cloth. And she whispers in your ear in Gnomish. She says, "The Timbers would be proud of you. I'll let them know." And she lets her hand go. She stands back up and says, "Take care of yourselves." And she steps back around the podium.
As Doc turns around, Ree will see that her cheeks are all blushed. They're very red, and her ears are all flushed too. And she's got like a weird smile on her face. "Thank you, sister." And she like starts to kind of like run away like a kid.
Thanks.
All right. So, Doc and Ree are running out of the temple, all giggles and sunshine. And we are going to end here for tonight because it is 9:59. Lucy has to wake up in the morning to take his sister to a fair because he is an extinguished fucking gentleman, and I appreciate that about him. And he's in England right now and not Nigeria. And you know what? Fuck that place. And good for you, Lucy. Lucy's like, "I can't hear anybody because my Wi-Fi went out again." Oh, no, I'm just kidding. I'm just being a shit.
This is Nigeria. It won't go out again.
Lucy, have an absolutely excellent evening. We will pick up next week. We are going to say, just on my end, at let's see, it was 11, 12, 1, 2. So we're going to say 2 p.m. on Mujem the 18th, which is a Wednesday. And we will just kind of go from there. Lucy, I really do appreciate you making the sacrifice for us this week. And Kat, because I know it's always a sacrifice on every week, because you are an absolute fucking workaholic, which I appreciate.
Not always voluntary.
I know. I understand that.
Also, it should be noonish with us talking to dwarves and have balls around the temple.
Yeah, she's asking if it's going to be noon when we pick up.
Oh, so I apologize, Kat. Sorry, you went rope. So you're going. Oh, she's a robot.
Yeah.
Cat, you went robot on my end, but we're looking at 2 p.m. Oh, she is so robot. That's terrible. Oh my god.
Nigerian Wi-Fi.
Yeah, y'all got some of that Nigerian Wi-Fi?
Seems the Nigerian princes are going for Cat. Or Wi-Fi specifically.
Cat.
Hey, at least my robot waited. I'm just happy my robot waited.
Your robot did wait. Cat, I can hear you. It is not going to be noon. It is going to be 2 p.m. when we pick up next time. 2 p.m. on the 18th of Mujem, which is a Wednesday.
Cool.
All right. Guys, have a fantastic week. All of you. Lucy, have an excellent first week at uni. And send us updates when you can. Kevin, have an excellent week at work. Keep doing what you're doing. Kat, have an excellent week at work. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
All right,
everybody.
everyone have a good week.
All
See
right.
you.
Great night. Good night, Lucy.
All right. So, guys, we have we got a lot of people to raid here. I don't think I got a yeah. This was a very good session. Seru, oh fuck! Did I just fuck up? Did I just fuck
No,
up?
he said he was going there. I don't see it though.
Wait, hang on. I appreciate all of our lovely stream or all of our friends being here, all of our streamers being here. Everybody who was watching tonight, thank you so much, Rose. I know that you were very dedicated and here tonight. Seru also, all of you guys. I mean, everything was just fantastic. And Hex, thank you for bringing over your raid. It was absolutely wonderful. So I'm about to get some more story in RPG on stream. Oh, he said he was doing it, but I don't think he is doing it.
Yeah, I didn't see him. I see Rocker Joe.
Hang on, I'm gonna give him one more chance here. Live! He is live!
There it goes.
Fuck yeah, we're doing it. Alright, usually I'm not able to be here for all of this, so y'all being so open and having me here, I love it. The moment between Ree and Doc was great.
That was
Rose,
so necessary.
Rose, I am, first of all, so happy you were able to see one of our streams. A lot of people don't watch our D&D streams, and we have some of the most intense roleplay, some of the deepest roleplay humanizing moments, and you saw that tonight. I'm so happy with where tonight went, because it is truly it was truly a way for us to show what was happening between these two characters. So yeah, I urge you all to come back and watch, or check out YouTube, my YouTube channel. I post all of our games to this. So yeah, if you want to watch during the week, please. And the moment made me cry because it makes Ree feel accepted. Yes, 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 yes. Guys, we're gonna raid Seru because Seru is awesome. Seru is dedicated. Seru is a friend, not a lover, but a friend. For as much as he does wish, but that's okay. We can't give Saber everything he wants. Thank you for being here. We'll be back on Tuesday for Candace's Crochet and Chill. Candace and I tomorrow are going to play some World of Warcraft offline, so y'all don't get to watch us. Excuse me. Bye, guys. Love you.